Oh, okay.
All right, time is 6:15.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Sorry. It wasn't you, it was Mark.
Time is 6:15. We'll call this ordinance committee meeting to order, special meeting. We have quorum, because of myself, co-chair Boyd, committee member Newton, committee member Heron, and council president. We have us. Also with us is Councilman Spell, Councilman Burns, City Attorney Browns, and Mark from the City Attorney's office, Ashley from our office, and members of the charter review. I think we're just wrapping up today, correct?
That's what I think.
Right? You brought one,
All right.
that's crazy. All right. Where do we leave, where do we start, planning shift?
When you say
So-
we're wrapping up.
I mean, I don't know if you want to take a look at the things that were changed. The things that were changed between today and yesterday are highlighted. So I don't know if you want to review those quickly, just everybody kind of flip through them,
No?
make sure there's no issues. I think the only thing we probably didn't discuss that I changed is page 25. I took out the section 12 on majority and minority leaders because you deal with it in an earlier section, so it was redundant. So I removed it.
Was that section 5 we did that, or?
Looks like it is section 3. Oh, wait a second.
Page 25 or?
I'm just trying to figure out where it was moved.
I remember.
It was moved to page 20, so section 3. So it was eliminated on page 25. I think the other piece that's probably important to take a look at is page 9, with the general provisions for the ethics ordinance, the filing of disclosures, conflict of interest, and recusal. I moved them to be created by ordinance, as opposed to putting that in the charter, because we just don't really have time to work all of that out. And so it's a requirement for any ordinance that's created.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I forgot to bring this up under the ethics piece, and I brought it up pertaining to when we do community development block grants, that a person shouldn't be penalized because one issue pertains to him and the 99 don't. He should be able to excuse himself, but still be allowed to vote on the other issues.
We don't
if they
address-
don't have a conflict of interest.
We're not addressing that here. It's gonna be, it has to be addressed by ordinance. It's just too complex for the
Your
charter.
ordinance instead of
Yeah.
charter?
Yeah.
All right. Next.
It's on chapter, page 9, reading.
King,
Yes.
before this is sent to us through the chair, regarding the staffing of the municipal office of ethics, you guys took out pursuant to available funding and ascertained that it's going to be funded, correct?
Say that again now?
In regards to pursuant,
Okay.
page 11 of 86. My understanding that first line was taken out, and that this committee intended to fund the office.
It really doesn't matter, because one council cannot bind a successor council.
But it doesn't say anyplace else in this charter about pursuant to available funding.
That's because, if you remember, when they had the conversation, they said, if we're gonna put it there, then we'd have to put it for every expenditure in the charter.
Just don't say it.
That's not what they said.
Okay.
I'm not making a point here, but it's very important for this entire issue
What do
here.
you want it
For
to
you
say?
guys, I don't want it to say pursuant to available funding.
I have the language I'm gonna get, because during one of the meetings, you guys gave language on it.
That's extremely important for the entire ethics proposal.
As long as you understand that whether it says it or not, it's pursuant to available funding.
Well, I would expect it to say the same thing as it says in the legislative office for director.
Well, it shouldn't, to be honest with you, neither of them can mandate that the council budget anything. Okay? It's decided on an annual basis what budget.
Well,
It shouldn't be any different than funding the mayor's office or funding anything else. So it's sort of non-binding, whether it's in there or it isn't in there.
yeah.
That's just the way it works. The city's funded on an annual appropriation, just like when we enter into contracts. The funding still has to be approved each year, or it's not gonna get expended.
Well, then why in section 5, it's been approved on page 21, Office of Legislative Services? Why can it not be the same way for the office?
That already exists in the budget, it's already been, funds have been allocated for that office, it currently exists. It's not a mandate to create an office that doesn't exist.
So the language that was voted on, and I will get a date when I go back to the revisions, but it said staffing. The Ethics Commission shall appoint a director of the Office of Municipal Ethics, and then so forth. And then there was a change because it said Director of Legislative Service, so it was changed to the Director of the Municipal Office of Ethics.
All I'm suggesting, ladies
But it
and
was
gentlemen,
taken out.
all I'm suggesting is this: if you're going to fund that office, then you're going to have the same ethics commission that you have now, which is worthless.
All right.
Well,
Hold on, Mark. Before that, you guys have had your opportunity to take a look at this. And this is really hard to do.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
I'll put it at that.
All right.
I understand that, but the draft is different than what was said before.
Right. But you guys have 3 weeks, we have our days. Appreciate your input, but we have both.
Thank you.
Everyone all set on that? Oh, Scott,
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate that I don't think there's a need to have the phrase pursuant to available funding, because we don't have it in other places. As Jenny and Stacy pointed out, it's of course always subject to funding, but put it in there almost opens the door to a conditional situation. But if we're actually gonna do it, office, let's just do it and take that phrase out. Take out pursuant to available funding. We don't have it, we don't have it in other places, so just take it out.
I thought we did.
That we had taken it out, I thought we had taken it out too, but
It's
it's,
in here, it's page 11.
That was my point.
But that's why I'm like, why we having a discussion, it's in there.
Do they want it removed?
It hasn't been removed.
it had been.
And it doesn't say that for the legislative director pursuant.
It doesn't,
I don't believe it does.
it doesn't.
It doesn't, right?
So if it doesn't say it for our department, we didn't set it up saying that it had to have, we just funded it. We didn't have to put none in language to say we're gonna do it, we just did it. So why would we put language in there for the ethics commission? When we don't have to do that.
The only thing I'm asking to be removed is pursuant to available funding.
John, he's ruled on it.
Well, everything is based on our budget. So people have to understand, even if we say we have a department, we have a position, if we don't have the funding, we can eliminate that position. And even if it's a unionized position, if we eliminate that position, it can bump somebody else. So either way, this budget committee that's gonna be there has to allocate money to put that employee or employees in the office.
We have to do the same thing for our department.
Mhm.
We didn't just set up a budget and say this is what we want, we have to find the money
Find the money.
We
and we
did,
put it in there.
we did it for several, Myra we did it for, we
Right.
did it for social service, we
Right.
did it, so that's part of the process we do. We
Right.
can't say we have all this money
Right.
until we see what the budget is gonna be.
That's right.
And unfortunately, next year may not be the time that we can put that employee in because of what we're gonna get hit with the budget next
Budget
year.
constraints.
But with like social service, it took us a couple of years to get that line. So that's the concrete part of it.
Madam Chair. Again, I will just reiterate that it's always dependent on funding, but why is this one new addition to the charter, significant addition, include a conditional phrase? It doesn't make any sense. So, I'm advocating for removing that clause.
Yes, City Attorney.
I'm not expressing an opinion either way, I'm just offering for informational purposes that the assistant city attorney's positions are created, or it says such positions as have been created by the city council, so it contemplates that the city council may not create those positions, it's not always a given, right? I mean, there is some expectation that these things aren't, I just don't want there to be an expectation that if you put this in the charter, there's something that absolutely has to happen because it's in the charter. I mean, I think we all understand that these things are subject to the availability of funding, and there are other places in the charter where that concept is recognized.
And through the chair, one other place is in the current charter, and you left it in there, is under the mayor's selection, under section 1H,
What page are you on?
page 17. Section H, subject to the availability of funds, the mayor may appoint such assistants as the mayor deems necessary for the administration of the duties of the office of the mayor. Now, I can understand why it's only in a few places and maybe it shouldn't be anywhere, but if you're gonna, I don't know that it matters substantively, and if you're gonna reconcile everything, you should take it out of everywhere and put it everywhere else.
So it's also in the city clerk section on page 17 at the bottom. So we might want to remove it from there too. I mean, I just think if we're gonna establish it, like Mark said, let's just do it everywhere.
At the bottom of page 17?
Yeah, for the,
But it hasn't done any harm over the years, because everyone understands every hire is subject to funding availability and make the annual determination of how to allocate your expenditures. So it's not like this group is left out on an island unlike anywhere else. It's in a variety of other parts of the charter. We've mentioned 3 already. City clerk, mayor, city attorney. There may be others, because we don't have time to go find them.
Even, through the chair, even with the legislative that we set up, we found some, we said how much we wanted to put in there, how much we had to find, I forgot what the dollar amount is on top of my head, and we did it. Real simple. When we set it up, we found the money, said this is how much we're gonna pay, blah, 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 and that's what we found for the budget. Am I correct, Madam President?
Absolutely.
So we didn't say pending funds being available or none of that stuff. We just did it. Just like with the ethics, if we weren't feeling it's that important, we'll just do it.
so are we removing it or not? I just need to.
I make a motion to remove
What you mean?
pursuant to available funding.
On the bottom of 17?
11.
Page 11. I think, in my motion, I was gonna say that, it is noteworthy that most of the council believes that this needs to be created, and we will work to the best of our ability in next year's budget to do it. That's the only commitment we can have.
Well, Lana raises a question for what it's worth. And the question is, when you go to the mayor's, it says subject to available funds, the mayor may appoint. You go here and you take out pursuant to available funds, it says the Ethics Commission shall appoint. It should say may.
Right. Right.
Change shall to may?
There's a reason it says shall.
Well, it's
Because-
subject to funding approval, and it's misleading, because you're gonna end up in court with somebody saying shall is mandatory, and you must fund it. And that's not the intention of the council.
The wording on that
But
is that the ethics commission shall.
So the language on the shall, Mark, I believe, is that the body, the Ethics Commission, will appoint this legislative director, not anyone else.
Well, if it doesn't say anybody else can appoint, may puts the sole power in them. But it doesn't say, shall could be argued to be mandatory, and that they must do this, and then somebody's gonna say, you must fund it. Over and above putting money in the Board of Ed, or putting money in the legislative services, or putting money anywhere else you want. I am not advocating against this position. I'm simply saying it should not be elevated above other decisions. You're the budget authority, you're gonna decide how to spend your money. They're the only ones that will be able to do the appointment, but it's not a mandatory appointment.
Rightfully so, Attorney Anastasio, but I disagree.
Okay. You're the
We can
counsel.
use the word shall, because we want to ensure that the commission itself, the body, is the appointing authority, not the mayor and not the council. That is the one thing we want to remove, just like the legislative director is appointed by the, what is it called, the personnel committee. Thank you very much. I mean, Teacher Roman's right now.
Then it should probably.
But, listen, let me finish. Because we want to ensure that there is a separation of this entity, for the commission, for the sake of the creation of this office. But it only shall appoint if it's being funded, so they cannot, but they can't take an action in anything if we don't fund it.
Not true. They
But
can
that's not
claim
what
it's
it says.
mandatory, and they can go to court, try to get a mandamus
That's not what
to
it
compel
says.
you to fund it. What you
So then
should
how can we
do.
make it say?
I have
Maybe
a, I have a
we can-
recommendation.
So
How can we make
I'll let
that
the
happen?
boss go first. I have
Let
an
the
idea
boss
to
go
go
first, yeah.
The director of the Office of Municipal Ethics shall be appointed by the Ethics Commission.
Exactly where I was going.
That says what you're saying, because what it
No.
says now is something different.
That's fine.
So that's what it's.
Okay, then can we change it to say, can you state that again for the record?
The director of the Office of Municipal Ethics shall be appointed by the Ethics Commission.
I can live with
This is
that.
under staffing?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You know, I hate to, I'm not sure that totally solves the problem.
Why not?
Oh,
This is all was writing.
Maybe we should say is the appointing authority for it, because again, you've got shall in there, and it says they shall do it. But it's better, no doubt about it.
So what was
So
your
what you
recommendation?
wanna-
Well, I don't want
keep
to disagree,
Mark
I think
around any
Taisha's point was to make it clear that that's the appointing authority, but it's not being mandated that the appointment be made, absent funding and other concerns, other priorities.
So how should we do that? So
I'm
we
gonna, I'm
don't
gonna
end
shut
up
up
in
and let Taisha,
court?
while I'm still in the budget.
Go right ahead, attorney.
I think we should just let it go. I understand what you're saying, Mark, but I think we should just let it go.
And stick to what you originally proposed?
Yeah, I think we should.
If nothing else, we've created a good legislative history.
These are the new.
Well, that is true.
Yeah.
The intent of the legislature is to not mandate funding, but instead mandate the appointing authority. That's for the record.
That's for the record, okay.
Okay,
Beautiful. So we're all on the same page.
yep, I agree with that.
All right.
Keep on, keeping on.
Next,
Let's see what we got.
oh, we didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about my favorite topic. The city council. So we're going through everything, so we wanna
We'll
make
get
sure.
there, yeah.
Oh, we ain't there yet?
We'll get
No, we
there.
ain't there yet.
All right, go ahead.
I was trying to come up with final questions, issues, some fairly small issues, but the two questions I think I'd like to know going forward from tonight, because I believe the committee needs to decide tonight, right? So we can get on the agenda for Monday and people
I
can
think we're
have
doing
a-
Saturday because of the climate change, right? Saturday? No?
I haven't talked to her. She hasn't talked to me.
Oh, I thought we were doing Saturday for the final vote. Okay. You can have
Okay.
the final vote today. How could that, what is that?
Simple.
What? We got majority, just vote, then when it gets to the floor, and then we.
Alright, so my question is, if there are still, as I wrote here, syntax typos, other Scrivener errors, will there still be an opportunity to look at those? Because I didn't get to all of them as I kind of.
If you provide for it in your resolution, I think you should. There are a few things we need to do. I mean, we need to make sure that the entire thing is gender neutral. I think we've attempted to do that so far.
Okay.
But we also need to do things like capitalize city council and mayor and city attorney. There's just a lot of typos and
Yeah.
things in here. So yeah, we would need to have some sort of provision in your resolution that authorizes the commission to make those sort of changes.
Okay.
Ashley started the resolution, so we can work with her,
Okay.
putting the appropriate language in there.
Good. So similar to my other, kind of major question, because we've talked a little bit about a sunset section or chapter. Can we still do that? And maybe pursuant to the resolution that we take certain chunk sections that are, silly and don't really belong there and
I'm not sure we have time.
Okay.
Mark, what's your thought? I mean, how do we get that done today?
Yeah, I don't
Basically,
know.
it has to happen
That's what I'm
today.
saying. If it can't happen today, can it happen when the charter commission takes it back?
Then I make a motion that we work all night like we do for budget until we get it all.
Well, no.
If tonight's the last night.
No, so here's what you can do.
Hold on.
The city attorney through the chair.
I'm just saying, because the team.
No, I wanna hear from the city attorney.
Through the
chair.
Thank you.
Sorry, Chair.
Haven't you on occasion approved a placeholder where somebody puts it on the agenda, but the document does not, the final document does not accompany the submission?
Well, I thought,
I hate doing that.
I know, but you've done it.
But you're saying we've done it.
I thought, Mark, through the chair, I thought you said at one of the meetings that we were going to set a provision in the charter that those things we could act, pass through a resolution or whatever to clean up
The
some of this
sunset
stuff,
language?
so that we don't have to go through it. Can you explain that to the group again, where,
Well, the problem is we're not at the final end of the story. You have to submit something back to the Charter Revision Commission, and that has to be something concrete. Now, what you might do, better than a placeholder is, you get this to the point where you're comfortable with it substantively, and you submit it to the council. And then Monday, at the council, we amend by substituting a cleaned up copy that has the typos, the gender stuff, anything else we missed. And in terms of spending the night, Monday would be the time you spend
that's right,
the night, not tonight.
not tonight, Monday night, because the whole council
We'll
got to
be
vote
there.
on it.
And
Yeah, we'll be
hopefully
there.
we'll be able to, Taisha's been doing a great job in getting the typing done. I'm sure we can, nobody's gonna argue about the typos and the capitalization and. I don't
I
think.
beg to differ.
The president is gonna be in capital letters.
You guys
Yeah, we're
Yeah, you're right.
God's gift to the
There's
world.
no brackets. There's no brackets here.
It's not in red.
Mark, you're right, capitalize everything.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
So,
You feel better now, Councilman?
Nope, I do not.
Scott,
You guys don't.
Can I just make a
Can I just say something? I'm gonna say something because I know this council. I know them better than they know themselves. They will be crying and screaming if we pass 807. Because they just wanna get it out and get it done with. Because if it was so important for many of them, they'd be here today on the final day. No, let me finish. They've cried and they've screamed and they've bantered on about we need to change this, we need to put this in the charter, we need the charter, we need the charter. And I've worked on a lot of the things and I've talked with Taisha, I've talked with you, Mark, I've talked with Scott, I've talked with Akeem about where we're going, where we're moving. I'm not always present, but I am present in knowing what's happening every time there's a meeting. But at the same time, those that have not come, we're going to be there till about 1 o'clock in the morning. So I say this, I know it's a Saturday, I'd rather do the grunt work, like a budget meeting on a Saturday, and call it the final day, so that way we can vote it out. And I hate to do it on a Saturday, but on Monday, it's going to be the lobbying. We're gonna hear Alfredo Castillo say he didn't read it. This one didn't read, George hasn't read it. Richard has not been here to read it. Denise hasn't read it.
So let 'em vote no.
Michelle's got a lot going on, she hasn't read it. Amy Marie didn't have time to read it. You know, everybody didn't have time to read it. Reverend Lee hasn't had time to read it. Sonia didn't have time to read it. They haven't been here, so they don't know what's going on, because they don't check the Teams or their emails. So I am saying this, not because I'm criticizing, but because I know, because we go through this every time we vote the budget out on the floor. And we have, a placeholder is even worse.
Okay, so what you do is you're gonna take a 2/3 vote to add it to the agenda Monday night after a Saturday meeting, because you're not getting it on the agenda and you're not getting an addendum out there 24 hours in advance. So you're gonna, it's a regular meeting, you take a 2/3 vote, assuming you have the vote, you add it to the agenda.
I tell you, I believe in democracy, let's vote on it.
I got a question, because I'm gonna say this on the floor. Those individuals that didn't come to the meeting, don't say a thing. Those people that came, 1 or 2 meetings, you know what's going on, we should vote on it. I'm gonna check folk to have the audacity to say, I don't know, you wasn't here then. Cause I came to every meeting, I'm not going through all that BS on Monday.
Just saying, all right.
And the people that came to the meeting should say the same thing. If it was so important, you should have been here. Now you gotta trust what we put in here. And move on. Simple as that.
No matter what, that's gonna happen.
Okay,
So I'm sorry.
Can we get
okay.
back to the work though?
I will rescind my
Thank you.
thoughts.
'Cause I ain't staying here.
Hey,
City Attorney Thomas?
yeah, with regards to the sunset provisions, I guess I'd like to recommend that we put that in the resolution also, that we address it at a later date, or that the committee address it when it goes back, so that it's on the table as something that can happen, because they can only review the things which the council allows or sends over, the amendments. You're gonna have to give language to
Do you
allow
have the
sunset.
sunset provision?
We do not, that's what I'm saying, you need to provide with the opportunity to draft it. It's not drafted.
Could you all make sure that we have something on the paper of the areas that council discussed for those people who didn't think it was important to come, so you at least still know they're talking about
A cheat sheet,
a cheat sheet.
a summary of the work we did?
No, just a blurb, cheat sheet, so that at least they know we talked about civil service, we talked about ethics, budget stuff. So you have 1 to 3 or 4 items that we discussed through the charter. That's what we're dealing with. So they can't bring up no new stuff, all that other stuff. We're just gonna deal with that.
Well, Ernie, I'm gonna just say something. This camera
Yeah.
is recording every meeting.
Yep.
I've watched every meeting that if I wasn't here. So those others that are not here, that you're saying they shouldn't say anything, they should be watching this video.
Right.
That's why we
Right.
have this technology now,
Yeah.
and I've watched every meeting. So, saying they shouldn't have a right to talk, if they didn't watch the meetings, then correct. But it's very simple to get on your phone and get onto the internet and get this. It's all over Facebook.
You're right.
So, that I just have to say, because I've watched it,
Yeah.
others can watch it.
You're right, I agree with you.
Council President?
We should have become members of the.
I'm just gonna say that.
We would have got it on paper.
I say this, we go as far as we can get done, we discuss before we leave tonight some of the sunset language, so we can kind of know what it is going to entail.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying, I'm
Let
just
me
throwing it
find
out.
it. I gotta
That's
find it.
good.
Because we have to kind of know what's coming, those that are here tonight, because we're voting on this tonight, what it is, the intent of the sunset language. So that way, those that call and on the phone tree can kind of give the right information. I'm only saying that because if we're gonna do that, I'm okay. We don't meet on Saturday.
Just bring it
If
to the
it
floor.
goes as it goes, if you wanna do the placeholder, we do the placeholder. Like Mark said, we've done it before, so it gives, the city attorney's office the time to update the language, make possibly, as much sunset language we get past through today, that we get past this. And I am gonna say, that we need to shotgun this a little bit faster, and then I will stop talking.
Will you?
I apologize.
Mr. Lee?
Thank you, through the chair. Anybody, I'm picking up on what Councilperson Perrin said, and anybody in the phone tree that you're calling who wants to know the difference between shall and may should look at last night's explanation
It was excellent.
by our, by the legend, Attorney Anastasi, who can argue either way and has the ability to, and informs us about shall and may. Thank you for not going into that tonight. Those of you who missed it last night.
Excellent.
All right. While we're still working on chapter 4,
Page,
between 16 and 17,
okay.
I wanted to add term limits. How do you feel about that?
I'm not doing that. Because I think we got term limits already. Every 2 years is just.
On the mayor. Ms. Smith?
So what are you suggesting?
I say 2 4-year terms. Others have suggested 3 4-year terms. I'm open to both.
Can you ask where we are?
Ms. Wells?
Something new.
So, how about this? A happy medium cap term? So that's what you mean, right? So a total of 2 terms or a total of 3 terms as mayor?
Mhm.
16.
So either 8 years or
12.
Now, what's gonna, just a question. What's gonna happen if it comes back on term limits for council people?
What do you mean?
Hey, somebody could say that there have been people that sit on the council that's been here 20 years, 17 years, 13 years.
Mhm.
Should they have term limits?
I don't think the council should, I mean, we could do that.
I'm just throwing
No,
it
I
out.
get what you're saying.
I mean, we want a document that's gonna try to at least pass. And I think if you load it up with a lot of stuff, you know, we should go after the most important stuff that we need, that we want to see get passed. But if you put a lot of stuff on it, it ain't gonna pass.
I'm a little concerned because that topic hasn't been brought up until today, the day we have to vote. So that's a concern to me, because we want something to pass. I've been saying it to everybody that we should have 2 or 3 topics and vote on the 2 or 3 topics and change that. This thing has been changed a lot, which it's needed, but it's hard to palate all of the changes. If we put that in there, I don't think it's gonna work. And if that was the case, we should have done it a long time ago and had that suggestion put in the very beginning. Then it would have been a debate that could have happened.
I think the more you load this up, the less change you have to pass. And I think there's some crucial things in there that we need to change now. But that's just my thought. I just think that doing it at $11 just opens it up for, we came here focused on ethics. We came here focused on a few things to change. For the council president, overseeing the council. And you throw the 4-year term that was on the mayor, and it's gonna be a problem. I'm just telling you. So I wouldn't touch that one. I was at this late.
So I have an A and a B. A would be if it's a loaded gun right now, can we put it as part of the language? And what's the term that was used, attorney time?
You know, the pieces that were sticking in the back
The
to
piece
clean
that
up
were-
stuff.
Oh, the sunset?
Yes,
Oh,
or,
But I just don't think we should touch it.
again, it was a proposal, you don't have to.
Right, but I don't think we should touch
but
that.
I hear
because-
both y'all, but I'm thinking about it in terms of this, because we have thrown out examples of the federal government, state, and local. Federal government, the president has 2 terms and that's it.
Or the president wants 3 terms now, he can change.
But he crazy, so
Right.
we
I'm
need
just
to
saying,
change,
he's not
right,
gonna change
Not,
the
not the greatest
law.
example.
right,
I'm just
but,
saying.
which is true, but also, and I see it this way, looking at it from the concept of generational. At some point, we have to have the next generation come in on this leadership. And no offense to no one, to anyone, if I get voted out, if someone comes to me and is like, I wanna be a council person, sit right here, we're gonna do this together. But at the end of the day, if we put terms on it, the work that you wanted to do, you had all that time to do. Things that you wanted to do, I can say for myself right now, if I don't return to my seat, the one thing that I wanted was this charter revision. And it's being done. So I get it in terms, it's a loaded bullet for some people, and we don't have everybody here. I think it should be a discussion, because you know what? Previously, somebody came back and added an extra 2 years to their term. So instead of them having 2 years, they have 4. But there's a lot of places where it takes 2 years, it takes 4 years to clean up the mess of your predecessor and to get it to what your vision is. So there's a lot of, this has to be a conversation. So I would agree.
Let's just take a vote now, like y'all did on the council president. Those that want, go ahead, Mr. Chair, those that want 4 years for the mayor, raise your hand. Those that don't, let's do it that way so we can move on.
What are you talking
Wait,
about,
what
4
are you
years?
talking
4 years was
I mean, you
20
said,
years ago.
term limits, that's what I'm saying. So, did you
I
make
just
that motion?
proposed it, but again, we're having a discussion, it seems like no one wants it, okay, I'll drop it, but we don't have to have a straw poll every time.
All right, I mean, if that's, I'm not in favor of it, because we're trying to get something passed. You put that on the ballot,
That's one thing that helped you.
Those were not salted at all.
No.
so, right now, the mayor doesn't care one way or the other. If you put on there, all this stuff will come out and vote against it, go ahead.
Yeah, I would just, I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea, New York City has it,
3.
who, 2 terms,
I
I
think
think.
Bloomberg bought the third.
Right. But, you know, I would think any provision would exempt the current
Oh,
office.
absolutely, yeah, he wouldn't be affected by this at all.
So,
Which is why I thought.
yeah, I have to think about it. Yeah, so I think at this point it deserves more time and attention,
They would
but
have to send.
I think it's good that you brought it up,
Yeah, I agree.
but, yeah, I think that's a big one to chew on, and, yeah, I'm not in committee, but
Richard Scott.
I like the idea, but it's,
Are you too?
I
I like the idea.
Let's say you, Mark.
It's a policy question, but I would say if you think back to New York, there's some examples, and perhaps currently now, where they probably wish they could have elected Bloomberg on item one.
That's
You're
right.
basically denying the public the ability to keep in power somebody if they happen to be doing a great job. That's why the public gets the right to choose. But it's a policy issue, I understand.
We'll move on.
Alright. Moving forward.
Can we put 4-year terms for council meeting?
No, hell no.
Wow, didn't take you no time to kill that,
No,
right?
I started right there.
Wow.
I agree with the 4-year term for councilman. I think it's just as important.
You wanna move
Should have
to,
been done, maybe it's changed it the first time.
let's move
Most municipalities do have 4-year term. Hartford has 4 years.
to, should we do that?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm quite sure.
Hartford, New Haven, I think is moving to 4 years.
They did,
Chapter 4.
they passed in your last revision.
Hold on.
This is chapter 5, where the council president.
Oh, the new chapter.
What
6.
chapter are we at?
City council.
All right,
What page are we on?
Page
City
20?
council starts on 18.
okay. I'm gonna say this again, I'm gonna have the chair.
Floor.
Floor. I'm gonna say this again. I know it got shot down, some people say we didn't need all those positions and it shouldn't be in the charter. But what should go in the charter is the council president pro tem. Because if the mayor's not there, because there's nowhere in the charter that says the majority leader acts in the absence of, or acts in the place of president of the city council.
We added it yesterday.
Yeah, we added this.
Definitely, we added it. It's,
Is it the highlighted yellow?
I think it's, yeah, page 20.
A majority leader in the House of Representatives,
So now we're voting.
now I'm just telling you, the majority leader of the House of Congress don't assume the authority of the vice president if he's not there. It does
That's the Senate though.
in the Senate. Doesn't happen. If the lieutenant governor is not there and can't chair the meeting, the president of the Senate, if the president of the Senate is not there, one of his deputies chairs the meeting. Majority leader sits there and controls the flow of business. That's his own responsibility. Now, I'm just telling you,
I just wanna ask, what happened that we had talked about this the other day?
for some council people.
One day to the next, it went away. Now, I don't agree in putting all those and all those, I wanna say ornamental titles in. I think the pro tem should live in there because it lives in other, lives in other municipalities charter as well. The pro tem should live in there.
New Haven, Hartford, all government. That's what I did.
So you wanna put it back in the.
Keep it in there. I don't think that we need all those other titles.
No.
The pro tem, majority, and the minority. That's it.
Correct.
Just a question, if you're gonna do that, are you gonna put the pro tem as the first substitute if the council president's absent, and then the majority leader after the pro tem?
Yes.
That's gotta change.
So page 20.
And then just to be clear, that the majority leader should remain the person for the census.
What do you mean?
You know, in the charter, remember? When we did the census, the majority leader
That's right,
was in charge of convening the
census.
The- the-
When you have to
the
do
census.
That's right.
I just wanna be clear that we're gonna keep that in.
That's
because
the
that doesn't
function.
change.
That's the function.
The function.
For the majority.
So we don't change that.
You're talking about redistricting?
Redistricting, yeah. Yes,
Oh,
I
We
did.
didn't touch that.
That-
The way you took, that's what I was like.
My mind is not where it is today.
Yeah, that's
My brain
really
is in
the
a
role
fog.
in the
That's what
charter.
happens when I eat a lot of junk food, don't eat a real meal.
Yeah, a plate that has chips and rinds.
Literally.
So the absence of city council president at any meeting in front of the majority leader will vote pro tem?
Yep.
then apparently the absence of both of them, majority leader, absence of all three, you do an election.
They have to pick one from amongst the council. But I've never seen everybody missing that one meeting, so. Huh?
Nothing.
Okay,
So we're all good with page 20.
yeah,
Uh,
I am anyway.
Well,
I-
I want to start on section 1, but we can come back to it.
Section 1,
Must
Yeah.
have said-
page 19?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Page 18 and
19.
19? What do you want?
Well, I want to pitch again my thought, and it's not only a thought about reconfiguring the council structure. And so I did provide some language for that, and I want to put that up there. So, yeah, do you want to?
This one?
Sure.
Randy, can you get this
Do you,
one?
do you mind if I take a few minutes to?
Let me exhibit it first,
Yeah,
and then you
that's
can
fine.
have,
You have a few copies?
let me see this thing real quick, so I can write down.
Section 25.
7:30, 25, all right, section 1,
Chapter 6.
chapter 6, section 1. It deals with the
Make up one.
makeup of the city council. Exhibit is 7:30, 2025A.
Sure. So, I think, well, I would just say one very small change, but again, it's a bit of a syntax error change, but section 1B, there's a reference to aldermanic district. I think we should just change that. That's not a big thing, but, you know, we moved away from the language of alders. So I think that would be at least one piece that we should make a change of. And I think the other kind of minor piece under section 1D, it says political party. I'm just gonna suggest political affiliation, only because, and correct me, Attorney Thoms or Attorney Anastasi, but if a person is unaffiliated, does that constitute an affiliation versus a party?
That's an affiliation, it's not a party.
It's not a party.
Not a party.
Right, so you can't replace a person with a party if they're not in a party.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so, I suggested, and again, I'm not the only one with this concept, but make each council district represented by one individual per district, and then have 5 at-large citywide council candidates. And no more than 3 would come from one party. And that would create an opportunity to bring 2 out of 15 council reps who are not of the current dominant party, which I think would encourage some different participation in the city, and certainly as Commissioner Lee has been sharing with us, our participation's pretty low. So it would be an opportunity to offer others a sense to engage. And again, I think specifically today, I can think of a few folks who are either unaffiliated or Republican who just feel completely discouraged of thinking they could ever get elected here. And yet, I think they would bring good to the body. So that's my thinking. Here's the other piece, and I will be very forthright with this. You know, realistically, charter revision hasn't exactly been the talk of town. I mean, there are some issues and some people engaged, but yeah, it's not a wide-ranging issue. I think this is an issue that maybe voters would like, first of all. And secondly, I think it might get people talking about it and paying attention to the other sections of the charter. So, through you, Chair, I don't know if this is possible or not, or if I'm way ahead of it. And again, Mark or Taisha, if you can help us. I'm gonna suggest making this one separate question on the ballot for November. And
Well, first it has
let
to
it go there.
has to be approved by the council.
Absolutely, absolutely, but I don't even know if that's a possibility that, vote that section up or down, get people to think about it, talk about it, and then go from there.
Should I?
I'm just a little curious, I mean, you want to vote this one section to put on the referendum to go in, but we have things here like civil service and ethics that are probably the most important changes that need to be made, and I haven't heard that be put as one item to be gone upon. So I'm a little curious about that, and I understand your mindset, and I understand the whole process. We had Republican representation many years ago. We've had this. Independent parties started running, and they won the last election. During an election process, they got independents on the Board of Ed because they ran. So, one, you mentioned two parties there, independents and Republicans, both of which have not supported their candidates. As far as fundraising, going out there to campaign for them, that's not anybody else's fault but that party. We go out and we raise funds, we campaign, we walk. I'm just not understanding the logic.
Yes, through the chair. I mean, with the Board of Ed, it's a requirement, right, to have minority party representation?
Right.
So, there's an opportunity for engagement for those other parties, and, we've had some good other party people there, and some maybe not, but, again, I'm just putting it out there as a motion. Thank you.
I'm against it. And the reason I'm against it is because one person cannot represent a district. You can ask me, because I did it for a whole year. You need more than one person representing the district. For that person to be on call 24, 24, 24. Now, things have changed. We used to have a strong Republican Party at one time in the city of Bridgeport where Lynn Bearletter picked up 6 seats. You got the Working Family Party that endorsed people and they win. You got Jen Dow that have endorsed candidates and they got in. I would not support opening up this process. Because if you want to run, get on the ballot. I don't know why we need to give people something when you and I got to go out and work our behinds off to get elected. I don't understand that. And I just think that if you open it up, yeah, maybe you'll get some folk, but people have a right to run right now. You can challenge any one of us by going out getting petitions and running for a seat. Republicans have that opportunity. Independents have that opportunity to take out a petition and run. So why would I give them the benefit of the doubt to do something that we don't have? So we're gonna we gotta have minority representation. But they still gotta go on their petition. They still gotta get on the ballot. But we're guaranteeing them seats that we don't do for us. So I'm not in favor of it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question is that in regards to how would this look like? Because you're talking about 10-5. So who's voting, how are they voting? What does that look like when we're talking about the actual business of the city? Because you have 15, so there's 10 that were chosen each district, and you got 5 that's elected. So what are those 5 doing?
So, through the chair, I would think they would simply be council members, like everything else that applies there. Certain people would be chairs of certain committees, they'd have all the same equal rights to votes. Yeah, all that. And if I may, Chair, just Councilman Newton's point about giving a position, I understand that. I hear what you're saying, you gotta go out and earn it. But again, I think it might create an opportunity to, like the Board of Ed, you're gonna get people who, we need someone to fill a role. And it might, again, draw out more people into the political process of this city, where a lot of people feel disenfranchised, that this might be a way to say, hey, maybe I will want to get involved.
I think this may be my last comment, I'm not sure. But, I hear what you're saying, so I'm gonna take my personal experience. I'm invested in my community, so when I became pregnant with my child, I used to go to the Board of Ed meetings, because I'm gonna be a mother. I wanna see what the Board of Ed is about, how to make the decisions, how they would invest in my child, right? When I realized that the Board of Ed is one aspect and City Council is another aspect, I used to come to the meetings. Because once again, I'm invested, right? And so I get what you're saying, but I'm gonna be realistic. Besides living in this community and working in this community, if you do not come to someone and basically hand them, it doesn't really matter. And perfect example is this charter. This is an important, this is so important, it's ridiculous. When I have conversations with people who said, I wanna run for City Council, I wanna run for Board of Ed. Have you read Policy 900 for Board of Ed? No. Have you read the city charter? No. Then you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And so it goes back to the education piece. I get it, we want people to be, we wanna mix it up, we want people to be invested and involved, but people have to wanna do it too. We can lead them to the water, but we can't make them drink the water. So all I'm saying is that I get what you're trying to do and wanna do, I just don't know if it makes sense, because following up with Councilman Newton, it's hard for one person to run a district. So when you have 2 people, and especially some of these districts are bigger than other districts, and you have issues after issues after issues. And when you have a partner, you're tag teaming, you're having conversations, you're splitting up the work. So I get it that it makes sense, let's do it 1 person in each district, and you can have like a citywide for 5. But realistically, right now, especially because we're one of the largest populated cities in the state, New Haven has 40 aldermen.
Sure do.
40 aldermen. Huh?
30.
Well, I
Stanford
know,
has the 40.
thank you. I knew it was one of them. But majority of the story is that it takes multiple people to do work. When you're trying to make change, one person can get burned out very easily.
That's right.
So by having a secondary person, and I know some people have said, I've had a partner and they ain't really been here. That's why you need a new partner. But realistically, there are some partners, me and my partner, look, I'm holding it down for her, she has stuff going on, and we all know. So, but we have our conversations, all I'm saying is that I just.
All right, for the second time,
Just a question. You're gonna have 5 at large, right? So that means that, and here's what some of the problem, you got some council members that don't know anything but their district.
You don't want to
You hear what I'm saying? So you pick 5 at large. That means I represent the whole city of Bridgeport. That's what that large means. Who probably have never, so I'm just guessing, have a clue about the city of Bridgeport, how big it is, what the demographics are. Locally, you have 2 from each district, they know those districts. So that means you have 5 people at large representing the city of Bridgeport. Then you got 1 person representing the district. So that 5 people will not all be coming over to the east end or to the east side to do the work that needs to be done, that we see or have, understand the issues that come from those areas. And so I just think that when you start picking at large, the next thing you're going to probably come up with it, the top vote getter is the president of the council. The top vote getter should be the mayor. Because once you open up the slope, you can change it to what you want to change it. So I don't really see the need. If people want to run, let them run. Republicans got an opportunity to run, they can run right now. Independents can run right now if they want to run for public office. You just gotta do the work, get out and get the votes.
City Council President?
Okay, I just want to say something. We all represent the city of Bridgeport. You don't just represent our district. Because when we take the oath, when we take our oath,
Right.
it says for the city of Bridgeport. It does not say for the 137, for the 130, or the 134, for the city of Bridgeport. Our charter does not separate the rules, the policies, and the ordinances. We may not get service equally and equitably, but we are still representing the entire city, because we don't vote on just the budget per district. So, to say we are not at large is a misconception of how we are divided on as our neighborhoods. Now, I can understand, and I believe that yes, there should be minority representation. But minority representation is very hard to obtain on the council because we are majority one party city right now, because they're a minority party. And I'm gonna say, all the Republicans moved to Shelton and Monroe. That's why the Republicans aren't strong, because they all live in Shelton right now. I just thought I'd remind you. They moved over across the line a little bit. Anyway, just to not keep it so dense in here. Majority representatives, like in Hartford, represent the whole city, but they're still regular council people, so it's an added person throughout the city, just like the Board of Education. And you can be from a district, but I could say, Ernie Newton, you could be an at-large member, because you go to all the parades and people are screaming your name, so you have the ability. The 23rd district, senatorial district encompasses what, at least 60% of the city? So that would be a member, a senator, someone who ran for state senate would be somebody that would be a candidate that could run for, because that's a multi-district position. But you, like you said, you have to do the work. And at large just requires that they kind of differentiate. It doesn't speak that all the at-large members have to be from minority party representation. They can be Democrats that win at large. That's the thing. And everybody seems to think that this is happening in 2027. This is something that would have to happen in 2031. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't plan on being here in 2031. And some council people who've been here 27 years, I don't think they plan on being here to 2030, because I'm not gonna be turning 65 on the council. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm just saying, like, we can't think about it, about us in our positions.
Right.
Either we have to think about it, maybe it's something that can sunset, or we can talk about it for 2031, but we kind of gotta, the city's gonna change, and there's gonna be added districts. There's gonna be, neighborhoods are gonna be very big, and the lines are gonna be redrawn again. I don't say it's a bad idea, but I know that most of the council members, those that should be here that oppose it and hearing this conversation, should watch the video. And then also, we need to think about not your position today. Because God has graced me with the ability to be in my position that I've been in for the last 10 years. But I worked 6 years to 6 years to get on the council. I lost 3 elections before I actually became a councilwoman. Do you know what I mean? So, yes, I did. I lost 3 in a row. I got obliterated, and then I won.
All right, Scott Burns.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, when there's a will, there's a way. I finally won because I built my base. But building your base also speaks to being involved in your neighborhood,
That's
being
right.
involved in your community. And if you're not involved in your city, and if you're not involved as a council person now in the 20-member body,
You won't be.
you won't ever be. But I think it is a conversation. I do like the idea. I'm either way, I can go either way, but I think the wave of the council itself for self-preservation is not gonna go for this. I think if we were forward-thinking and a little bit more progressive, this would be a good way to change the city and to open it up, to really change the dynamic of how we run our city, because we'll be kind of mirroring the Board of Ed a little bit. But then we'll also still have community representation, and like in Hartford and other municipalities, every council person has a staffer that is assigned to them. Would that mean more money for us? But that also would mean that if we get staffers to actually do the work, which we're working on, it will grow the body to be more, what is that word? Not an amateur, but a more professionalized council? Is that what we're working? We're working toward a professionalized council. And this would bring us to there, not 2027, not 2029, but we can work out for 2031. That's all I'm saying.
You wanted to say something to Attorney?
Thanks.
Well, yeah, just in an effort to build a compromise. I don't even like the idea I'm about to share, but just for compromise purposes, if the goal is to have at-large members, why not keep the existing body of 20 and add the 5 at-large in addition to? So then you have 25 and nobody gets negatively impacted. The status quo remains, and then you still get the opportunity to have 5 at-large members. But if that's the goal, is to bring in at-large, then there's one way to do it without changing your current situation. It's just adding more council members. I don't know if you need to make the chambers larger or something, but,
Split our desks in half.
No, I think, if I can do the chair, just to reply to that, I think, yes, that's a possibility, and then we can work quiet, 3B, minority representative. How hard is that?
compromise.
It's not. But like you said, I think a majority of this council is focused on self-preservation.
Well, it's preserving. Her compromise is preserving. Boy, you really learned to split the baby, huh? Boy, you taught her well.
I
don't like
don't think
the
it's
idea either.
necessarily a bad idea. Part of my concern, however, and part of why I was thinking this way, again, not to malign anyone or anything, but again, I'll speak for myself. I've been with council reps who are not always the strongest, most consistent partners. And, sometimes you have to cover because there's an important situation, other times, that's how it goes. So I think, to the council president's point, that the more we add some professional support to our staffing, we're moving ahead to 2 this year. And again, I think that helps us actually lean on and take advantage of the other departments in the city, because you can reach out to the city clerk for something, or to the city attorney for us when, we don't get in the middle there. So that's, definitely a possibility. And my other point, and I think this has a lot to do with the idea of an at-large piece. Again, my observation that over the years, as a council, we're so focused on districts and so focused on our neighborhoods, we sometimes do it to the detriment of the entire city. And again, I don't have to throw out examples, but I'm sure we can all think of them. And if we have a few folks who aren't tied to their district, that would create an opportunity to
Yeah, or you could retire and come back in 2031, run at large. I'll get you a school.
How about the wheelchair? Give me a walker. I'm gonna still be walking.
You mean the
I
roller?
think we've exhausted this. It's clear it's not excited for.
So, what are we gonna do?
I think we're just gonna move on.
What are the thoughts of the committee? 25 or not 25?
Let me say this, look. If you wanna put stuff in here that's gonna generate hurting the things that we really want, then put it in here. If you wanna do some of the things that strengthen our efforts, we should think about that. I just think putting a lot of stuff in there. Because let's face it, 99% of the people in Bridgeport don't know nothing about charter division. And even when you tell them they go in the poll, don't forget to vote on the top, they don't forget to vote on the top. Because there ain't no groundswell support that I've heard of people excited about us doing the charter. Because 90% of them don't even know what a charter is. So that's up to you all.
So, then that speaks to the
Because
council.
I'm not, listen, well, you could be right, you could be right.
That speaks to the council. It is our job. We are on the ballot ourselves. It is our job to invoke the change that we are working on, we've actually, commissioners should do. It is our job to ensure that the city is being progressive and changing and evolving. It is our job to make sure that the charter passes. Because if we don't, then we fail at our job, because then we are failing at leading the future of the city and the populace of this community. We are failing. Because if we allow for this to fail, either way, either we put the 25 or not, you can't sit here and say, and this is why it's infuriating to me, we can't sit here and say, I want the charter to pass because I don't want to go to 15, but then you are failing this city because we need this to pass, because people want to make it easy for themselves and comfortable to feel warm and fuzzy. Leading is not being warm and fuzzy. We have to make a choice. Either we choose to lead or we choose to worry about our own chairs. Because if you're worrying about your chair, then you're not really worrying about your community. Then maybe it's true. Maybe we need to change the dynamic of the council. And I'm only saying that because I'm always challenged for my chair. I'm always challenged on everything that I want to change. And we challenge ourselves, Ernie, in the future of our city. So we can't challenge ourselves to fail, because then what's the point of sitting in that chair? If you let this fail, then you need to resign. You shouldn't even take the oath on December 1st.
Okay.
Because that's our job.
All I'm gonna say is this. Look at the number, I came to every meeting.
I know what you're
Let me
saying.
just say, listen to me. We got a body of 20 people. Those that have been here, have you seen 20 people at this meeting? Anybody seen 20
Oh, I did.
people?
I did when it was about them not having their seats. They thought it was gonna be gone in 2027. But I'm gonna talk to Joe, because it's on camera.
That's right. That's when they came.
But self-preservation does not change what we need to change in the city. You can't tell me you want economic development, you want this, but you want to save your seat. But you're gonna make sure that this charter fails, and you're gonna make sure civil service fails, because, oh no, let's put civil service out so we can kill the rest. That's not how this works. It's all or nothing.
With that passion. All right, let's put it on.
I say put them on.
Put it on.
I'm not in, listen to me.
They can whip it out off the floor. We're gonna debate this on the floor again anyway, on
I'm not in
Monday.
favor of creating seats for people
Mhm.
that we don't create for ourselves.
So noted.
Okay? So I'm not in favor of,
We're not creating seats. You can create, I can run that large, you can run that large.
I'm not talking
Keep
about,
running
I'm
that
talking about the minority representation part. I'm not in favor of that. Because if I gotta go out and get signatures and do what needs to be done, why should I guarantee you have a seat?
You're not guaranteeing nobody a seat, Ernie.
Yes, you are.
Hold on a second. Jeanette?
Yes, you are.
Real quick, you know, the mindset of every district is that they only represent the district. And Heidi and I came in together, and we've always said, we are the council for our district, but we represent the city. So whoever has partners, and if you're both saying that you only represent your district, that means we haven't done our job to teach people here that they represent the whole city. Because you always hear me say, I'm a council person for 133rd, but I represent the city of Bridgeport. And I agree, Ernie, I don't believe in handing anybody seats. We've had to work really hard to get challenged to get our seats. And I'm not here to say I'm saving my seat, because that's not why I'm not in agreement, because, you listen, it's gone today, you know, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. You know, we're here now, we're not gonna be there. But we still have to look at the future of the city. If we eliminate positions, the city's gonna grow. It's gonna grow again. So then we're gonna go to 10 and do 5. It just doesn't make any sense to me when other municipalities smaller than us have larger amounts. And just so people know, the minority thing and the at-large in some of the western states that they brought it over here because I got it rubbed in my face, they're eliminating those positions in their districts now. Because I was in Ohio 2 weeks ago, and they're starting to go back to district council. So when we get information, we need to keep up with that information.
I'm not arguing the point to the chair, that, I'm saying let's do the 25. If our city's gonna grow, hence the statement, our city has grown and it's gonna continue to grow as we build up and we build new apartments, and yeah, we should do at large. Then add the 5. And let the other, 14 that are not here debate it out on Monday.
So
we can move on.
No, I just wanna make sure what you're adding. You're just adding 5 at large.
That's what she said.
That's
With
it.
3 minority representation.
I ain't gonna do that.
Two minority representation.
We move on now.
It's just like the Board of Ed. How did the Board of Ed get minority representation? Mark, do you know?
I don't care about what the board.
No. Because people have worked with people from working families that are Democrats to get on. Mark, do you know?
I'll tell you in a second.
Let's ask the legend.
Now, if you want the.
Let's ask the legend, hold on, let's ask the legend to see how the city did it.
He didn't get here before me.
Who was? He was here
We
before
let,
you?
no, we let Mark come in after I got here.
Yeah,
you let him in. You let him in.
Go ahead, Mark.
I believe it may not only arise out of General Statute 10-220 or thereabouts or 210, but I think it's also governed by 9167A, which is the minority representation on all public boards or commissions. They exclude legislative bodies. They don't exclude boards of ed.
Right.
So
Exactly.
out of a 9-member body, no more than 6 may be members of one party.
And why do they exclude legislative bodies, Ron?
Well, because it's a direct election and,
That's what I said.
I mean, Board of Ed is direct election as well. So
Right.
I can't really answer that, but they're not excluded the way legislative bodies are.
Right.
All
Can
right.
we move on?
Yeah. The worst they can say is no, we don't want it.
So I think the short answer that some of you at least are looking for is that when they passed 9167A, the legislature did not mandate that you have minority representation on your local legislative bodies. It's obviously an option under the charter, but in the legislature's wisdom, it's not mandatory.
So we'll just grow it in 2031. It's gonna happen in 2031, it has to be redistricted with the census anyway.
Again, you can put it in, and if council members, well, usually,
I just want to call your attention to the voting 4 years ago. Based on the numbers that the Registrar of Voters Office has put together,
Right.
there are only, the lowest district has some 4,700 voters, and it goes up to 8,000 voters maybe. So there's a variety of experience, and those low capacity registered voters districts are have also don't come to the top of the list in terms of total votes.
That's right.
So representation in those districts might be spurred on, and you get more people coming to the party and contributing. So I'm not sure. I just want to add that because I've studied and I've gone back and looked at the numbers again just to be sure that what we're looking at. And with the national opportunity in Texas to redistrict midterm and whatever, that's not what we're doing here. What we're trying to do is to open the place up, to get more people enthusiastic, to have more people like Council President Nieves with passion for their neighbors. Thank you.
All right. What?
Just a point of clarification. Many of you, when you go home tonight, get the paper, look at, I forgot who wrote the article on what Democratic Party's numbers are now. I think we were at 52,000 something. I think we're down to 30-something thousand registered Democrats.
You were about 44,000, you've gone down to
But you
33.
can't think of that in a partisan
I'm just saying
Right.
that we
way.
brought the numbers down to where we got a lot of work to do.
Right. But you're thinking as a Democrat.
Now, I'm just thinking as a person that says, listen, I remember we were here, now we're here, so.
It fluctuates, it goes up and
Well,
down.
they create rows of dead people and people haven't voted in 2 elections. So it's something to think about, but let's move on.
Just to confirm what I said earlier, 9167A subsection 2 says, the provisions of this section shall not apply to, and then under subsection B, it says to a legislative body of a municipality.
What's the reference again? What's the statute?
9167A subsection 2,
9167A.
subsection 2C.
So I just need to understand for keeping notes purposes, what was the decision about this? Is it in or out? What are we writing? And I just want
I
to make
guess
sure,
that was the.
how am I documenting it? So it's not being added, okay.
Let's move on.
No parts of it, so Aldermatic is staying in section B,
No.
You
No,
know, take all the bad and count.
that's automatic.
What'd she say?
okay.
Take out the word aldermanic.
All the man is.
Okay, and then how about political parties that changing to affiliation, is it remaining
What
political
page are you
party?
on?
Page 19.
She's on page 19. Yeah, I would fix that to say, instead of political parties, just say affiliation.
Okay, so some of it is
More,
staying.
to modernize it, yeah.
What section are you on?
Page 19.
Page 19, section B was the first question, and my second question was section D.
Just clarification.
Chair.
Clarification. You did put in there for 5 at large?
No.
You didn't do that?
No, I said
After
we
all
do it
that.
for 3 and 2, and you said no. For the 2 minority.
Oh, but I said, I ain't in favor of that minority, so.
So it's done.
All right. Page 20. What else is that? What type is that? 21. 22. Uh, 24, 25.
25 has something with majority leader. 23, what did we?
23 doesn't.
Page
I had
23?
wrote it down, majority leader.
On page 23?
Maybe I just wrote
Where?
it down. Okay, maybe it's just something I wrote down there.
On page 23?
Yeah. It has nothing to do with this.
There's
Okay.
nothing, no.
All right, so I might just wrote that down.
24. 25.
25 had highlighted yellow, so that was the last one of the,
These are all out.
These are changes from yesterday.
26. Yeah, 27, we discussed yesterday, right?
Yes. There's just one thing that's missing from that, subsection C.
Uh-huh.
I should have added that the assistant city attorney shall be in the unclassified civil service. And I forgot to put that in there, so I
You
can
and
add.
Mark were discussing that.
Yeah, I just forgot to put it.
So you're comfortable putting it in
For the assistant city attorneys,
classified?
unclassified.
Unclassified?
Yeah, that's what she said, yeah.
So the other change that we didn't discuss was how we were gonna deal with the deputy city attorney and whether or not that position would be classified or
Oh, right, right, right.
unclassified. So the way that we've handled it is if an associate city attorney becomes the deputy city attorney, they will remain in the classified division and they'll keep their collective bargaining affiliation. If they are hired from outside of the city attorney's office and they're coming in new, they will come in as an unclassified employee and not a classified, because you don't want to promote from within and then have people lose benefits to take a promotion essentially. So that was the compromise on that.
So essentially, there's no double dipping, in fact, probably no vig or extra compensation for taking on the duties of the deputy, am I right on that?
Yeah, it's the
No,
same,
right,
if
they'll
you're
maintain
if you're
this.
within, it's the same salary.
Stop right.
So I'm glad to hear that getting resolved. I think the ordinance, we could then change so that the deputy city attorney is not in that unaffiliated list. Am I correct?
No, you would keep it there because if the deputy city attorney was hired from outside of the city, they would be unclassified and unaffiliated. And so you'd have to, currently, there's only a part-time deputy position in that list. On that list, you should probably add a full-time deputy in the event that the deputy is hired from outside the city. And they're
So you think
full-time.
there's a deputy?
So there's only a part-time deputy in the current ordinance, 2.36. But we should probably add full-time
In the ordinance or here?
in the ordinance,
Right.
yeah.
Should have full-time.
So we should remove the deputy.
No, you wanna keep it because currently it's
The
part-time.
deputy part-time, I mean.
We can have both. We have both part-time and full-time city attorney in that list. So we can have both part-time and full-time deputy.
How you good, Scott?
Are we still in chapter 6?
We're on 8,
Chapter 8?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
page 27.
Law
Go back
department.
on.
Make sure we're all caught up here.
Yeah.
We're on page 8, 27, right?
Okay, I'm
Section
gonna
2.
keep going, I'm just saying, I wanna make sure we're all.
Oh, hold on a second.
On page 28, under section finance, under 1B, I think we need to add in there approved by
Majority.
majority vote of the whole city council. I think we picked that up elsewhere in this one.
Yeah, I
Where is that?
missed it in 2 sections.
28B,
B, the
1B.
third line, the second line.
So the red line?
The red line should be approved by a majority of the city council. I forgot the word majority. The word majority is also missing from page 45. I need to add it there. I'd already started printing when I realized I missed it and I didn't wanna spend another hour.
If we're gonna reconcile it everywhere, because somewhere in the current charter, it talks about majority of the whole, I don't know if you wanna specify, it has to be a majority of the whole.
Or majority president voting, is that what you're
There's two
saying?
different things, I don't know
Okay.
what the council prefers there.
Which one, which term?
You want it requiring a majority of the whole, which would be 11, or do you want a majority of those present and voting?
Majority of the whole.
Then we should
Yeah.
say of the whole.
Because sometimes you could end up with 6 people in a committee.
You're telling me, I gotta call for maybe 5 seconds.
Sure.
You can end up with.
On the same Department of Finance chapter, in the same section that Mark just pointed out, so 1B on page 28. The last sentence, no person shall serve as director or deputy director of finance and treasurer, tax assessor, or tax collector. I think I would suggest that we add also the Office of Policy and Management. We did have that situation last summer. And just, I think in terms of good governance, keeping both sides of the ledger apart from each other, notwithstanding the person who held that role, did a fine role, did a fine job and is reliable, but I think it's worth adding that phrase to,
So you're just adding another job title to that?
It would be
Yeah.
the director of the Office of Policy and Management.
yes.
Which line item is that?
1B, John, page 28.
Is it
Thank
one
you.
B or?
1A.
One,
No, it's
No,
one
B.
B.
No, 1B.
One B.
One B, the
Thank you,
last
last
one.
sentence.
Last sentence,
Sentence.
that's correct.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
And then director of
Policy and then.
policy and management. Alright, let's keep going.
All right.
Hold on.
I got a question on that chapter too, but, no, go ahead. I think there's something in section 9 of that chapter, but I don't know if that's.
Finance?
substantive. Yeah,
Section 9.
page 31.
Uh,
It's just, I think it's just capitalization change, not real big. But section 10, I have a question on in that there's reference to a board of tax review.
mhm.
We don't really have one in reality, so
But we do.
Yes,
we do.
We do have one.
what do we have?
We appoint them
The
to
Board
hear
of
the
Tax
appeals.
Yeah.
So
But
this is the.
it does say shall consist of 3 members. I could be wrong, but I thought there were years when we had multiple members.
I
more
think
than
it is
3.
just 3 members that sit there now.
Okay. There was a time when they had additional people. But that-
So this is the board of tax appeals.
Yeah, they handle
Okay.
the,
Right, we had all the appeals, yeah.
okay.
So we're all-
So that's no change, that's exactly as it was, it works.
It's
And
just,
it's still currently 3 members.
I don't know, but
I
it
think
says,
it's, I believe it's 3 members.
I can check.
There was
with
someone, I forgot who was appointed there. Remember our first year that Yvette voted against them?
Mhm.
That's how I know there's 3, that infamous vote. You
yeah, because
remember?
there's one sheet. Really,
Is it careful?
It was crazy.
All right, next,
Rest their soul.
Thank you.
You're all caught up, stuff? Okay.
186, what's next?
Not to weigh in, but ordinance says you can appoint up to 12, so I don't know
Oh, really?
how the disparity is between charter and ordinance.
Here it says 3.
During a reassessment year, I remember Liscott having multiple members that when they could attract them. So maybe we should,
I think the standing is 3.
Do you want to put a maximum on it?
let's
I
see what
think
the
the
ordinance
standing
says,
is
and
3,
maybe we
and
can
then,
decide.
and then by ordinance it's 12,
Thank
that's
you.
when we do the revale.
Right.
Because you can't,
It's to assist during the revale.
yeah, but let's see.
Oh,
You
they're
can't-
hired,
you
okay,
can't
I got you.
By
They're
ordinance,
appointed.
do something that the charter doesn't permit. We could say a minimum of 3, but let's see what the ordinance says, we'll just take a minute.
While we're waiting on that, Mark, Scott, what do you have?
So, same chapter, page 32, section 11, treasurer. I mentioned this last night, I think that
The odd one?
refers to the treasurer who shall serve for 2 years. But I think if we're gonna follow along with like the tax collector and tax assessor, and I believe, well, city attorney's 4 years, right?
Yes.
But this tax collector, tax assessor are designated as 5-year terms. So I, just for consistency's sake, I would say change it from 2 to 5.
Do what we did yesterday?
Yeah, so take out each odd numbered year, right? And then substitute 2 for 5.
That's what we did yesterday.
Right.
Regarding another, right. City Attorney Thomas, remember he brought it up for, I can't remember what post it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Was it city attorney or deputy city?
Thought it was maybe
Those are
tax
not
assessor,
for-
but these 3 positions
Whatever.
would be consistent.
Right.
So, I'm fine with it.
The discussion was yesterday, he said odd number of years, you were like, oh, you can keep it.
Okay, yeah,
But-
it was city attorney.
Right.
We took it out so that it was parallel with the mayor, and we just removed the whole odd
Odd
number
number,
year thing.
yeah, so
Yeah.
take it out here
So
too.
just, we're just taking out odd number of year,
But what's the
page
reasoning?
32,
I have,
treasurer.
no, I have the page, but what's the logic behind making this a 5-year term as opposed to 2 or 4? I mean, because didn't we do 4 years for city clerk, town clerk? So why would this one be
Mayor.
5?
Because there is,
Because collector and assessor are 5 currently.
Okay.
Are there?
yes.
So the treasurer would go to a term of 5 years.
I mean, I'm not wedded to it, I'm just looking for
Term
some
of
consistency.
2
To
to
5.
5,
Yeah,
and we're striking odd number.
all right.
Did you find the ordinance yet, Warren?
I did, and it references a statute, but let's start with the ordinance. It's ordinance 2.119.010, 2.119.010. And it's relatively short. It says the city council may appoint up to 12 additional members to the Board of Tax Review, also known as the Board of Assessment Appeals, for a total of 15 members for any assessment year in which a revaluation becomes effective, and for the assessment year following such year of revaluation. And then here it says, this ordinance shall be valid notwithstanding the provisions of Chapter 8, Section 10 of the city charter. Now, here's the interesting part. This ordinance section is adopted pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes 9-199C, which must be something that says notwithstanding any charter provision of the contract. So I was just headed there. I'm sure that's what it says, otherwise we wouldn't be superseding the charter with an ordinance. So
You said it's in chapter 8, section,
10.
10.
Now, Connecticut General Statutes 9-199C, that's what it says. Board of Assessment Appeals, okay, 9-199 subsection C. Notwithstanding the provisions of subsection A of this section, or of any special act, municipal charter, or home rule ordinance, a municipality may by ordinance authorize its legislative body to appoint additional members to the Board of Assessment Appeals for any assessment year. So, I was right.
You knew it was right before you looked it up, man. What's wrong with you,
So
huh?
that being said, we can keep it the way it is?
Yes.
All right. What's next?
But you also could
Stop
add
running.
that language in here. You could add it in here, but you don't have to.
No,
Let's go.
ain't broken in, but
you know, sometimes the legend is.
I know it's a legend, man.
Chapter 10, budget and
Budget is
fiscal
on mine,
controls.
they say.
I'm on page 73, now I'm on
Page what?
83, and I'm on 34.
Oh, you went back, all right.
So, thank you, Chair. So this, page 34, which is the new chapter 10 budget fiscal controls. I was trying to propose that we shift the date from the 4th, Monday, March, to 3rd, to give us a little more time.
Are you under 2?
There's-
What are you under?
Section 5, under
C.
C, yeah,
I thought
sorry.
we did that already.
That's in there, isn't it?
But it says 4th right now,
Oh,
not 3rd.
Third, okay.
And I would suggest that,
Wait till change the
To
fourth
change
to
the
what,
fourth
to
to the third?
three?
yeah, 3rd.
Third Monday of March?
Yeah.
When does it say that department heads have to get theirs to the mayor?
Doesn't say.
Does it say that in the charter?
Sir, where are you putting that
So section
Page
5,
34.
C, on page 34.
for? Okay.
Is that all you have to cover?
There's no page on it.
No,
Weird.
sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I got it right. Oh, yeah, so, on page 35,
It just says date determined.
Section 5, subsection F, or the new, F. It says the third Tuesday in May. Again, here, I would suggest the second Tuesday.
That's what it was
It
before.
was the
It was the second.
Right, I didn't suggest moving it to the third.
So we'll go back to the second?
Yeah, and
For both?
yes,
Okay.
So you're picking up the 1 week on the front end, but not another week on the back.
yeah, like 2 on the front end and, yeah.
Cause y'all know why we're doing that, so.
And the reason that I shared with that table last night, which I apologize was not perfect, but, or I hope it wasn't confusing, I'll leave it at that, is that if we really stretch out the vetoes and the counter votes and setting the mill rate and all that, we could be as late as, I think it's June 15th in certain years. And we gotta put out the tax bills by June 30th, and, you know, we're shoehorning ourselves into that. So, and the other piece I would just say, because I know there's a little pushback from finance and OPM, and, you know, I appreciate that. You know, first year might be a little challenging, but I think once the department heads get into a 365-day cycle again, they're like, all right, I gotta start my budget in, you know, November, December, and not wait till January to do all that.
Scott, as you pointed out, under 5B, the mayor has discretion when to direct the department heads to submit their
Right.
budget, so he can just move it up.
Yep, yep. And I think as we get more digitized and whatnot, I think budgets will become a little more efficient and, you know, still argue over them, for sure, but I think actually producing a draft would be good, and I think my good budget co-chair noted that some departments kind of cut and paste.
Just to put it out there, the deliverables on the budget start January 30th for department heads. I mean, so you're moving all of this up, we're gonna be doing it for Christmas. I mean, but just putting it.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay.
They just cut the pace anyway, so don't worry about it, some of them.
You've never seen cut and paste from me.
But see, we wasn't, we didn't say who it was now, you must be feeling guilty.
No, not at
We're gonna
all.
have the budget awards next year.
Thank you. Could we please?
All right, what's
You all
next?
set, Scott?
We call them the
If
budgies.
you all are okay with that.
Yeah. All right, page 36.
That was the budget.
36,
John Marshallese gonna be a judge.
budget process, completed, okay,
37.
keep going.
Hold on. We'll go to the next one. This might be, there are some changes on page 45. You replaced appointed with nominated, and you added, and such nominations shall be approved by the city council.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
45?
Yeah.
Again, you're gonna make that
Majority of the whole.
Majority of the whole.
Yeah, majority of the whole.
Where are you?
Page 45, section 2.
Oh, yes, I have that.
So change it to majority of the whole.
Yep,
Or you're adding a majority of the whole.
right.
Moving along.
What's the
Next
next
major
page?
thing I got is page 58 under,
I think 49 there was a change here on page 49, something highlighted.
No,
The
40,
Director of Parks and Recreation.
yeah, 49 was highlighted because there was a recommendation that we make that a council-approved position, but it's already Parks Commission
Right, it's already-
approved, so we just, I just highlighted so they could see it was
Oh.
there.
Did you get the next page up?
page 58 under membership, terms, vacancies, removal, we just removed a lot of language.
Right.
And on 59, under equal employment opportunities, we struck some language out and added new language.
All right. Personnel director, civil service, 60.
Yep.
We didn't do much, just, okay. All right.
No, I'm just reading it along with the,
didn't write it down in my version. Taisha, on page 26 for the director of OPM, did we change that to majority of the whole? I didn't write it on mine. I don't know if we talked about it.
26, Mark?
Majority of the vote, yeah.
Well, it doesn't say the whole.
For which post?
OPM.
I have to change it, I made a note to change it.
Great.
Majority.
All right.
59,
You can adjourn, okay.
60,
Personnel director,
Probationary
civil
period.
service standards, okay. Nothing major.
61, you added a section.
So 61, oh, go ahead.
61?
Yeah.
Section 4,
What were you saying, Attorney Tom?
So the reference there is to the portion of the mayor's section that speaks to appointment of, I guess, employees or whatever. There was a concern that those folks not be affiliated with any particular union. So this accomplishes that by keeping them all unclassified.
Gotcha. Okay. All.
that's good.
That's what you all wanted, that was in my
That's what we
creation.
wanted.
Beautiful. Move right along, page 62. Scott Burns.
Page 62, number 21 at the very bottom.
Yeah,
Yes.
Superintendent of schools who shall be appointed pursuant to the general statutes. The next sentence, all employees at Bridgeport Public Schools and Bridgeport Board of Ed, except for those appointed through the classified employment position. Does that mean, are we referring back to the initial reference? Because that's not a complete sentence there, so I don't know if there's a, am I missing something there?
So this is just listing the types of employees that would be unclassified. So it's the superintendent, all employees. I mean, maybe it would work better as bullet points, but, or separate numbers.
Well, if you go to the next page, it kind of.
So these are the unaffiliated.
Go to the next page, though.
Yeah, okay.
that's what they are right here.
But those are different. So
Those are
those are
different.
in addition to the folks that are listed in 21. And then it breaks it out with the Roman numerals. So I don't know if you want to break them all out, but it's just multiple positions.
Okay.
And they all refer to 21, right? They're sub under that?
Those other positions are in addition to the ones that are in 21. I think the 21 positions are current in our existing charter, and the Roman numerals are add-ons.
I think the sentence that starts with all teachers, administrators, and executive positions, and it talks there about various certifications, we were attempting to pick them up, weren't we, in 1 through 10? Isn't that where that list came from?
I thought
Those
that's
require
what it
certification.
was. I thought
Those require.
those are the same on page 62 as is on 63.
They were to
You know what, to be
No,
honest with you,
they're not the same.
there's no verb in the, as Scott points out, there's no full sentence in 21 up in the beginning part.
That's what he was
Maybe
pointing
we wanna
out.
make it, maybe we wanna make it 21, 22, 23, 24,
Yeah, that's-
25.
Okay, so I'll break it up.
Okay,
Everybody comfortable with that?
that's fine. That's fine.
Somebody got a,
I think we did this because we wanted, how everything was listed, like serves at the pleasure of the mayor, so these people serve at the pleasure of the superintendent. That's what it is. that way.
I think that's understood, that the mayor doesn't control the Board of Education on who works and who doesn't. That's not his role.
Yeah.
No, but they wanted to make sure that we established cabinet level positions for the superintendent, the way we've established cabinet level positions for the mayor, so that the superintendent can appoint their own cabinet, as opposed to making those people classified civil servants, which would make the superintendent kind of be forced to keep the previous cabinet. Right, so that's the purpose of that. Right, you know how the mayor can select the city attorney and select their OPED director. This allows the superintendent the same freedom to select his or her top level people.
But doesn't she do that, or he do that now?
No, we don't, but it's not listed in the charter. And so, because it's not listed in the charter, all hereinafter created positions are classified. All of those folks are then classified, and that's not what you want. You want them to be unclassified.
Because even if you're not in a bargaining unit, if you're not an affiliated employee, what Taisha's pointing out is that all classified civil servants can only be removed for just cause. The unclassified serve at the pleasure of or serve a fixed term. So this is just really, I think, clarifying what the superintendent and the Board of Ed want.
So these, so the superintendent wants this?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He selected this.
Yeah.
All right, give him
Yeah, because
Taisha, didn't you meet with them and they actually
Yeah,
gave you the number?
He selected these. These are the positions he selected.
People in the cabinet that were unionized or service was always an issue.
Okay.
So these are all gonna be.
All unaffiliated positions.
That's what it should be. That's it.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I get it, but I don't get it. Like, I'm struggling with this right now, because I understand, like, the director of food services, director of grants, payroll and benefits, the superintendent, those aren't really, like, decision-making positions. The director of grants, okay, I could, but like, 8, 9, and 10, I don't know.
I think these people are all part of what the superintendent, both the current and past,
It
refer to
doesn't
as
say well.
their cabinet. These are their key department heads, the decision makers, the policy makers, his key advisors.
But I think what the CP is saying, it doesn't have to be in the charter.
It does, because as Taisha pointed out, the other language would say, all hereinafter created positions go into the competitive division of the classified service, unless you carve them out. So you have to carve them out. And again, this is nothing the city asked for. This is the Board of Ed looking to enhance its ability to operate professionally with a senior executive team and not just an isolated superintendent. So Taisha never tried to impose any of this, but rather let the superintendent, yeah.
And plus, through you, Chair, the mayor gets to appoint whoever he wants. The Board of Ed ought to have
Same flexibility.
they should have the same flexibility. Because the way their system is set up now, it's terrible.
I know that, but
It's terrible.
I
They
just
got
don't
more
like
employees
carving
than the
out
city
these
does.
positions like that for the Board of Ed, because it memorializes something that may not create a functionality in the future, and we're stuck with it.
I see both points.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Maybe I'm just,
What I'm trying to say is, we're trying not to make a decision on how the Board of Ed operates. We're
That's
letting
not our
them
job.
dictate.
Not our job, but anything the Board of Ed.
And they will tell you that these are positions that I believe all require state certifications at one level or another. Even when Nestor went over there as the chief financial officer, he had to get a certification.
So you didn't tell me he was working
I don't
with
think
us?
the
Hold on,
director
hold
of
on,
payroll
hold on,
needs
hold
a
on.
certification, you just need a degree
What's that?
to be an HR payroll person. I don't think you need a state certification
I
to be a
don't
community liaison.
know the answer. I would like to believe that these all require a
I'm just saying,
certification.
I'm just telling you, because I don't see.
I thank you, everyone, for contributing explanation to that, because I was a little confused what was going on there. And I totally agree that a superintendent should have an ability to appoint her direct reports. And there's nothing in here where, unless I'm reading it wrong, that a superintendent must appoint all these positions.
No.
So, I think it's good to move that way. Just question, because I don't know, but are there any,
What page you want to go
say 63, are there any of these positions held currently by anyone who is in a union that, I don't don't know if that matters, you know, like the director of grants, I
I
don't know.
think now, no.
No,
Because the past director of grants is no longer here.
for the
So all of
BOE.
these
How about
positions, no.
information officer? Isn't he like the president of the
There's no
TJ?
information he's data-matic, but he's not on here. Well, information, I don't know if that's what his title is.
I think that's.
It could be.
Yeah.
There's a possibility, because I don't
There
know what
may
that
be
title
I
is.
mean, do we have any, like, do we need a grandfather provision? I guess that's one.
There should be no
Curious.
grandfather provision. If you're gonna be sitting in the charter and your position's in the charter, I think,
Yeah, should- right.
I think it should be
Yeah.
removed.
Dasha.
I think it's gonna have an impact.
I just have a question. Before, in other parts of the charter, we took out assistant and left deputy. So here we have assistant superintendent and then we have a deputy superintendent. Do we need both of them?
I mean, you have that Board of
Yeah,
Ed.
you
Yeah,
got
there's new
it.
structures going on, so you'd have to definitely ask the board.
Most districts do.
This is why I'm confused, this.
Why are you confused?
It just, cause in this line before, that's why I keep on, I
What
apologize.
page are you on?
On page 62, where it says, along with the following positions, which subject to applicable collective bargaining agreements, serve at the discretion of the superintendent. Now, if I'm misreading this, I'm not looking at the teachers, administrator, executive. I'm looking at these positions. Is this line applicable to these 10 positions?
If they're in, there may be some of them in a bargaining unit, in which case the union would do the usual, which is, we're gonna, as you said, grandfather in the current occupant of that position. That's what we did in the police department, when we created the assistant chief and deputy chief.
Yeah, look at how
positions.
that's worked out for us.
Well, they were outside the bargaining unit, that's one positive.
But Mark, I get the point being made, because this is
That's
suggesting
why I'm
that
like-
someone who is part of the unclassified service would be in a collective bargaining
Well,
unit.
That's actually, sad to say, a distinct possibility. Because just because you're in the unclassified doesn't mean you can't petition to join a bargaining unit. It's up to labor relations to object to that and say no. If they go in the bargaining unit, they now get just cause removal, and they're supposed to be serving at the pleasure of. We have examples of that on the city side, where, for instance, if you read the old charter, it says the deputy director or directors of public facilities serve at the pleasure of the director. Well, guess what? They joined the supervisor's unit, and they no longer serve at the pleasure. That requires the administration, the labor relations to be diligent and avoid that. Now, listen, there's also examples, as we all know, where people were administrators or chief executives allow that to happen because they want to lock a particular person in. That's been known to happen.
All right, so I've got like 9 minutes left.
Let's go.
All right, so we've, what?
I think we need to fix that language.
What do you want to fix? What do you want to add? What do you want to omit?
I just want to make sure that these 9 positions are not subject to a bargaining unit. Because if the mayor's
You can't
people.
prevent that through the charter.
Wait. You just told me that the mayor gets to pick his cabinet, and we're allowing the superintendent to pick their cabinet, and his people serve
At his pleasure.
at his pleasure. These people serve at the pleasure of the superintendent and should not have.
By charter. By charter, they don't get just cause protection because they're not in the classified service. That doesn't mean there isn't the side door of joining a bargaining unit where you can't get just cause protection. And that's on the Board of Ed to make sure that these people, if they're in there now, that it's grandfathered only for them and not for their successor. But look, we have enough trouble trying to provide legal assistance to the Board of Ed without trying to micromanage how they operate. It's, we got our hands full. You can't really, this is what the superintendent wants, this is what the Board of Ed wants. Why are we
But
trying
it's not what
to?
the council wants.
The council doesn't run the Board of Ed.
Council
You
don't
don't run the
control
Board of Ed.
But
One at a time,
what
one
I'm
at a
saying is the
time.
collective bargaining component, I don't think that these positions, I'm okay with the positions, I'm just not okay with that other part.
But you're mixing unaffiliates and unclassified, go ahead.
I just have a question as to whether or not having them be in a collective bargaining unit negates the point of having them be appointed.
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
if you're appointing these people and then they have protections of the collective bargaining
The
agreement, you
point
just can't
is-
fire them.
The point is to not let them join the bargaining.
Right.
And
But
if
it
they're
says it in here that it's subject to the
Well,
collective
it's-
bargaining, so should we remove that?
I think what that was intended to say, maybe you're right, it may not be accurate. I thought that was intended to say, to protect grandfathering in a current occupant.
It doesn't
But you know
say
what?
that.
I think you're right and I'm wrong. By leaving that door open, it almost invites
It
collaboration.
does.
So you're
And-
correct.
But it negates the ability to be able to have these people serve at the pleasure of the
No, you're-
superintendent. I mean, he's doing
You're-
himself a
you're right.
disservice.
Like I said the other day, that's why you're looking.
No, don't.
You're absolutely right.
So what are we at?
That's a great catch, I would have missed that.
Yes, yes,
And the
Jeanette.
council president deserves kudos for carrying the conversation long enough to get to that
That's
point.
2 X's, Legend, 2 X's.
Take it easy. Councilman Hero.
Also, if you're an educator, you're part of a bargaining unit, irregardless. So the superintendent, if he's picking his cabinet, that means he's picking them in there. He can remove the cabinet and send them back to where they're gonna go. So that's what the protocol is. If it's been done, I don't know, because there's been a lot of changes even in the past. But if you are an academic, you do have a bargaining unit. Because the teachers, they move their certification and their degrees where they move. So that's something that you have to understand as well.
But maybe this is a conversation with civil
Yeah, we're
service.
gonna have to go back, because I missed it, and it's gotta get.
I only say that because when you become a manager, you become an executive level executive, you kind of lose, the money comes with the responsibility, and it comes with that risk of the position.
I think everybody intended the same thing, but you two were correct.
All right, so we wanna work on that,
It was a
please.
loophole, I agree.
Thank you.
We'll work
That's
on
something we can address Monday
On the floor.
it.
on the floor.
Yes, right, have it against the floor.
Hold on, I'm gonna wait for, Ashley's going to,
Try to get us some more time. We're almost through it.
Yeah.
You got your good champion.
Also?
All set, next.
Let's go to page 64. And it looks like a lot of language was taken out, and they added, they removed unskilled and put in routine.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm with that. Took away his and her, put there,
Yeah,
and it turned it neutral. And they did the same thing on 65.
yep.
66. Under powers and duties of Civil Service Commission, they took out a lot of things and added.
That's the public hearing.
For 66?
Yes,
I'm behind,
66.
sorry.
They did 9 instead of 60, 9 instead of 60, right?
Where you at, PJ?
On top of 66.
Instead of 60, they put 90.
Right, they put 90, yeah, okay. All right.
67, they took out a lot of language. And at the bottom, they added language under
No,
reemployment list.
I read all of this.
Okay, all right.
68,
Yes, I'll agree with that. 68. Took out a lot of stuff and
added joint statement.
all right.
Thank you. Individual makes some provisions of this section only once during the course of the employment with the city.
A lot of language.
Well,
All right.
And
Yes.
just on 68,
yeah,
I thought we talked about in section B about the rescinding of resignations, of withdraw, of resigning resignations and retirees. I thought that was discussed to change to 30. The commission, Because that was one of the things that we get caught up on, we leave it for 60 days. We can't hire anybody, they don't put out the job position because you don't know the person's gonna really retire, and then it costs us money because we're already in the process.
We shortened it. It used to be 6 months.
So 6 months, okay.
It's now, I'm sorry, you went on a recall list if you're laid off for 2 years.
Yeah.
You could rescind this for 6 months, and we shortened it to 2 months.
Okay,
Okay,
If you
maybe that's
resign.
why I was thinking the 6 stuck in my head, okay.
all right.
John Mattola, I think, did that.
Yeah, thank you, I just wanted a clarification.
So we're all caught up on
Yep,
Yep.
that. Beautiful.
it was the 6th, it was
It was the 6th, okay, all right. Now we're on page 69. They deleted his, put there, and added recently.
All right, eligible for
Page
test.
70,
You-
they took out a lot, well, they didn't take out a lot. There's a limited K and added something at it. And an H, K, responsibility for the employee shall be eligible for certification and funding in order for the roles of activity except as otherwise prescribed, so.
all right.
71,
Here's the, this
they made it
language.
gender neutral.
Yeah,
72. Waiver may be granted for a period not to exceed 6 months. No more than 2 waivers should be granted to any individual driver.
72.
2 years instead of,
What do you mean 2 waivers?
What page are we on?
2-year period.
72?
72.
What do you
Yeah.
mean no more than
Gee,
2 waivers should be granted to any individual driver license?
Only asked for 2 delays, I guess.
Is that what it is?
No more than 2 waivers, okay, shall be granted.
And everything else is gender neutral. 73, same thing.
And then clean up.
They added certify. And they added city attorney at the bottom of 73.
74 is just clean up, here's the hers.
Yep.
75. is
Well,
the
they
same.
added on 74, placed on administrative leave and took away the word suspended.
Yep. 75 is clean up.
76, they added rules shall be construed to mean the rules and regulations of the Civil Service Commission as prescribed in the powers and duties of the Civil Service Commission.
Yep,
Okay.
I remember.
77, they took out
1986, oh, I can live to moved it up to 2025. Damn. That's right, that was the last one.
78. 78, they took out
Nominating
operation. Why did it spell like?
It was spelled out.
Oh, I was like, what's going on?
Okay.
And they added, and such nomination shall be approved by the city council. Are we doing the majority of the whole again? Scott, we're on
What page are you on?
78, chapter
Economic
19,
development.
planning and economic development.
So, I emailed the chairs and maybe somebody else, suggesting that we remove completely sections 4, and 5, because they both reference, decline being under the direction of the Board of Directors and Trustees of the Public Library.
That's what, yeah, you didn't.
That's been
Yeah.
changed by a court order 20-something years ago.
No,
So
yeah.
it's really null and void.
Okay.
What page is that again?
78. So you're saying delete sections all 4?
The top of 78.
Yeah, and 4 and 5.
Memorial,
Yeah, just those whole sections.
4 and 5.
Yep.
just like you.
Just line right through it.
Good
All
enough.
right, all
Like
right.
that.
All right, 11 on, 70.
All right, 79. Nothing.
1920, that's what you were
This-
doing?
You were 5.
Okay. That's what you were doing.
Can I just clarify? If we're gonna do a sunset resolution, I think this one particular needs
What page?
consideration.
What page?
Page 79,
What part?
the whole thing. We don't have a Department of Land Use, Construction and Review.
Yeah, that one should get sunset.
All right,
The whole chapter?
I think so. I'll read through it, yeah, I remember reading it a couple of years ago thinking, what the heck? So we don't really deal with it, but, yeah, well, let's put it in there as a candidate for something.
Well, it says, it adds, in section 5, there shall be a planning and zoning commission required. That's under there too.
That's already,
Is that down the line somewhere else?
well, it's provided by state statute.
Okay.
Alright, well, we can look at it.
All right.
You don't sign up for that?
Yeah, well, again, I think if we put it in the sunset version,
I'm just gonna put something next to
That's
chapter
what I
20.
mean.
One of the things, going back to page 78,
Mhm.
it says in section 4, subsection B, the city council shall provide by ordinance for a housing and community development commission. We do not have a community development commission, which shall advise the mayor and the director of housing and community development with respect to housing and community development matters, and shall perform such other functions as may be assigned to it by ordinance. Now, I was looking for that, and I didn't know of it on my other packet. And I don't see it in ordinance anywhere. Do you know anything about that ordinance, Legend?
Mark?
I'm sorry, I was looking up my problem.
Mark, bring it down.
I'm talking,
At least he was on
At
it.
least he was on.
Mark, I was looking for it, and I couldn't find it, the subsection 4, the Community and Development, Housing Community Development Commission.
Well, I know we now, and,
It's not
Speaking
fair
of
housing, and
legends-
it's not fair rent.
okay, I was
So I
going
was trying to look for that under the ordinance, and I'm trying to ask you,
Vision of housing.
because if that's so, it doesn't exist.
No,
And in my mind, is this what the role of the Economic ECD&E Committee is supposed to be versus having the commission, is that? I guess that's my question, was that created to eliminate this, so if if that was the case, that it became a council committee,
well, let me just check our ordinances and see if we ever created by ordinance
because if it's not, then,
housing, a division of housing and community development. We may have some.
Well, we have a department of housing and community development.
yeah, but it says there's a commission.
Yeah,
That's, my question is, the commission, where does this commission come in from?
do a word search and see if we pick something up.
If not, we can eliminate, or, or is this a commission we have to
I'm gonna do a word
create?
search
Sorry.
for housing and community development commission.
I couldn't find anything that I looked at.
We don't have it.
No, we
We
don't,
don't have
we
it.
don't have it.
So
maybe
It
that's
says
something
we can
just-
provide it.
Right,
Yeah.
that's something we
Ordinance.
should
So
set up.
Ordinance.
I just say leave it there.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
hear.
we'll leave it there.
Yeah, because maybe we want to set it up.
Maybe we
Since
shall.
housing is a, top issue.
It's only gonna
And
get
that our
worse.
housing study was written by an eighth grader.
Okay.
Oh, did I say that?
You did.
So I guess, are you gonna come up with a list of chapters that you want to sunset?
I thought y'all were gonna do that.
No, I think you have to tell us which ones. So I guess the idea of it is that, the language would read something like the historic powers of, and then it's like all of the departments or boards or commissions or whatever, shall remain in full force and effect until replaced by ordinance. And that's how you would sunset it, right? So,
That includes the library board,
okay,
right?
you want, well, you all have to select.
I wanted to include the library. I'd like to. That's my suggestion.
You're talking about section 4?
about boards and commissions.
But are we still on page 78?
Section 4, we're gonna leave it in there.
All right, so now what are you saying?
She was talking about sunsets,
Mm-hmm.
and she mentioned, boards and commissions by ordinance, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out which ones you want to change to ordinance and remove them from the charter.
But we don't have to, help me understand if I'm right. If we put in there that sunset in the back of that gives us the option, Margaret, if I understood you right, that the council would come up with whatever those changes might want to be, and they would be sunset, and y'all would just, was that my understanding of your communication, sir?
My thing is that all boards and commissions should be governed by ordinances,
I agree
and
with
no board should be self-appointing.
Well, the library board, unfortunately,
They're different.
I did look at the
They
library
are,
board
they're
stuff,
different.
and they're governed by a couple, there's two conflicting state
It's
statutes,
terrible.
and there's a trust from
It's hell.
Saden Trust that specifically says if certain appointments are not made on their recommendations, that funds flow to Yale University instead of the city of Bridgeport. So I made a note to find out from Flato how much we get annually on that. See if it's worth worrying
Okay.
about. So I just looked that up this afternoon after.
Yeah, because it's set up, from my understanding, crime and the library board is totally different, you know, on how their structure is, even though we reappoint them, which we are.
We only ratify.
They nominate, and you can either approve or reject. And you have rejected, I believe, on one occasion.
Not many.
You can, but you can't.
That doesn't sit well with me, because I'm gonna say this, I say it again. No board or commission should have the authority to make fiscal decisions that impact the city. It's happened with the Parks Commission in the past, it's happened with the Police Commission when we weren't on the towing, and I hate to say it's happened with the library board once or twice when we got into that fight about the library, about building new libraries. And then we got into that fight about, I don't know, I just believe in that because it just, you make, the boards and commissions are making decisions. And that's also something that I struggle with planning and zoning, because they impact the city without no real controls.
So here's some language, we're gonna have to get deeper into this, but in the Saden Trust for the library, it specifically says, if the city council fails within 2 months to approve one or more of these appointees, such failure or omission by the council, the mayor, or both, shall cause a forfeiture of the income from the aforesaid Saden Memorial Trust for the library for the years in which such failure or omission occurs and for the following 5 years.
Wow.
So I gotta find out from Flato how much money they're actually getting out of this trust, and it doesn't matter. Then there's also, in addition to the trust language, there's 2 different confusing, conflicting statutory sections. 1121 and 1133.
State statute what?
There's a couple of state statutes that govern how you fill library boards.
Dasha.
One of them specifically to Bridgeport says the library board does.
That's right.
Goes back to 1909, I think.
That's how
The
we-
general one says you can do it as you choose to do it.
Ooh,
All right.
But
the other one goes back to when?
1909, when the NAACP was formed.
That's right.
Ernie, were you
the,
How was McKinley's voice?
Here's what 1121, Connecticut General Statute 1121 says, in the absence of any other provision therefore, the management of the public library in any municipality, blah, 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 elected in the manner provided by 9-207. So there's some election procedure which I haven't got to yet. But there's a specific section that relates to Bridgeport, which is General Statute 11-33. And 11-33 I'm sorry, I overstated. It was the Public Acts of 1929, General Statutes 1918 revised. Anyway, it says, in the city of Bridgeport, specific to Bridgeport, in the city of Bridgeport, the directors of the public library and reading room shall have majority vote, blah, blah, blah. And then it says, but every appointment by the direction, every appointment made by the directors shall be with the approval of the common council of the city of Bridgeport for when a vacancy occurs. So they have some specific language that relates only to us. So we have this statute we gotta reconcile, and we got the issue of the Judge Saden trust money. The real question is this something that you wanna grab hold of and fight with the current library board? For the simple reason that they also have certain control over mills and stuff through election and being responsible people. Is it really a fight you need to have?
He's telling you to read the room.
But really, you know,
Dr. Stone?
I was just gonna ask, because we're close to the end, and we were getting close to page 82, section 2. And then highlighted in blue, the head of the department shall be the director of health and social services.
So, yeah, I had an intern changing the department heads to approval by council, and her question was whether or not it was applicable to the health director, and I told her no, because the health director is governed by state statute.
Yeah, correct.
So that's just, that's internal notes,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Which was the problem I was wrestling with when I was not paying attention, because if you read this whole chapter, and Anthony's here, which is great, because Anthony worked in the health department for a number of years. And I would add, the state statute does not talk about a director of health and social services. It's the director of public health. That's the statutory provision, and that's the position that you appoint when the person comes to you. We've had a half a dozen over the last decade and a half. It's the director of public health. So the question is, if Anthony knows the answer, is there something known as a director of health and social services in that department? Is there another person wearing that hat?
Well, but yeah, yes and no.
What is that?
I mean, you're both right. The state statute is public health, but in purposes of the budget, it's listed as health and social services. And
Okay,
that's
but
like
this is
the
the third
official
time.
title.
This
But
is
like
third-
in the
This is
unaffiliated,
director of health and social.
but in the unaffiliated ordinance, you have both listed.
Great, but we don't fill both, or do we?
I don't know which one technically gets filled because then it's grant funded, so we don't even properly fund it in our budget because it's also grant
Now you
funded.
go down to 6, and here it does it right. It says, 6, the director of public health shall be appointed in the manner provided by law and possess the qualification. So how the hell is the director of public health not the head of the department? How is it this non-filled position of director of health and social services? We should clean this section up to reflect reality.
The director
in
of health, and most municipalities have a director of health and social services, which is the health director.
Well, why don't we just call it
But
the
he's
director of
saying-
public health? which is
Right,
what the
just
state-
change the title to the director.
We're using two different terms in this one chapter, and we're hiring a director of public health appointed through the statutory process, who's supposed to run the department, and we're saying some other position is running the department.
Well, yes,
Who I don't
section-
even think is filled.
Section 3 is
It
the
is.
director of health and social services.
And then section 2 says the head of the department will be a director of health and social, so it's both of them. It's crazy.
so can we just clean that up?
But not unless we know if we're putting somebody out of a job.
Right, that's the thing.
Because Nadine is the director
You
of
can't
social
don't bring up
services.
names.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
Well, you could have a director of social services, but not a director of health and social services. And frankly, the head of the department should be the director of public health, not a director of social services. The primary function, I'm sure, is to provide public health. So, I guess we probably,
is her
between
title?
now and Monday, we probably need to talk to the
Health
director
and
of
social
health.
services.
Yeah.
And that's what it's always been hired as, going past, all the past
Health
directors.
and social
That's
services.
not, any letter I've submitted to the city council has reflected the statutory language, director of public health. never mention of social, health and social services.
So if it's not broke, no cleaning, should just leave it, I mean, it's.
Well, no, we should
We have to
fix
clean
it,
it
because
up.
it's
Yeah.
confusing.
Right,
We need to clean it up.
It's confusing.
Well,
We're not gonna put it
the
in
problem
there.
is, and can I just say this? The problem is that, and it's not gonna sound nice, that the municipality in practice, in bad practice, has used job codes that require, like the director of, our current director of health and social service, under a job classification code, is working as the director of public health and not the director of public health and social service. Cause they used that job classification code to give it to someone else when they were trying to keep someone on and not really. So it has ruined civil service. So unless we're gonna fix it all the way around, the whole nuts and bolts and the kit and caboodle, let's just leave it as it is, cause it's already, you know.
Yeah,
Hot mess.
but then,
Doesn't mean you,
but then there are things like the director of public welfare. I mean, we don't have a director of public welfare.
We used to have a director of public welfare.
But if
When
we
you was
don't
a
plan,
baby,
Ernie used to be 15.
so if.
I used to go to city welfare with my uncle all
I
the
did too, I
time.
want my mother.
Used to work there.
Did you?
But if it no longer exists, should we continue to keep it in the charter considering that we're
Right.
revising it? I mean, if we're
No,
revising it,
I
should
think
Has it
city
evolved into something
welfare,
else?
yeah, public welfare.
Look, if we can't clean it up by Monday, then you're gonna have to leave it as is, but we can
We'll
talk
figure
to-
it out
Can
for
we clean it up
Monday.
by Monday?
Well, I don't know, we're gonna have to talk to the director of health,
Yeah.
or whatever.
And welfare.
whoever's running the place.
And civil service, you gotta talk to
And
Eric
civil-
and civil service.
Truman, Roseville.
Fix it.
I agree.
Cause I don't think nobody's here on the welfare people, I don't think nobody's in that title.
No.
It might have moved on to another title.
Right.
Or
It's
other.
not been around for a long time.
Yeah.
It was 1996.
Really?
And he was giving me a history lesson.
City welfare is gone.
So, with that being said, 83, 84, 85.
85, you have check section 1, effective.
It says this charter shall take effect at 11:59 p.m.
That's what you
local
guys
time.
approved, that's what I said.
January
2026.
2026?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
wrong.
And then section 20, transitional provisions, are you gonna
You're right, planning
add
and
more?
zoning is under here, Attorney Tom.
I'm sorry?
Planning and zoning is also under,
Where?
80, the last page?
So those were transitional provisions. It probably was the attempt to sunset it at the last revision.
Yep.
And they didn't take it out, or maybe they did, maybe we did, I don't know, I mean, if there's an ordinance that's governing that, then it should no longer be there.
Insurance fund. They have an insurance fund?
What?
Oh, for the sheriff.
You're on page what?
86. It's literally the last page.
Can I,
Can I
Discover.
I got a couple other, going back,
Mhm.
so we, if I may.
How long?
Not long,
11's got to come
11, on page 86.
on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think
It has to come out?
Well, I think all of,
10.
Oh, boy, look at number 8.
Yeah.
Department of Health and Social Services, whatever the term about is, the Office of Human, get more titles.
Yeah.
And these are the,
Department of, unbelievable.
those are the transitional provisions, right? That all of it shall be.
And the budget co-chair just told me in the budget, we refer to Dr. Rodriguez as the Director of Public Health. And she's running the department, not a Director of Health and Social Services.
Right. So we'll fix that up, man, come on, what you got, Scott?
So just a couple minor things, and I've got it by chapter and section. So chapter 3, section 1F, I don't know what page it is, I'm sorry. It's an easily fixed matter, but there's a reference to the election of 2026 when it should be 2027. So,
it's page 12.
thank you. Yeah, under F. I don't think we'll have any elections in 2026, so.
Page 12.
Section,
F.
November
27. What else, Scott?
Again, I don't wanna make too big of a nuisance of it, but section 3A, bottom of page 12. My thought was to add a provision that the mayor shall communicate to the council president when he, she shall be absent. And in the case of an emergency, to provide back explanation. I have some language here, but.
Can I just bring it back to that, the municipal election on November 2026, they're elected during the governor's term
John's
and the
right.
president's term.
That's
They're not elected during the mayor or alderman terms.
Yeah, that's
Council
correct.
members, that's why it's 2026.
Then it's,
We need 2026.
Is that called municipal election in those years?
Yes.
They still call it municipal?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So go back to
But it should be
I don't think they
2026.
do.
I don't think they do.
I don't think, no, the off years are never called municipal.
They're not?
So what is it actually called?
The registrars are on the.
2020 president and governor.
They're always the even years, yeah.
Okay.
Whether the word municipal stays or not, but 2026 has to
So back to
stay.
2026.
Okay, alright, sorry.
So we'll just take out municipal just to be safe because it's an election, right?
Sure.
So at the election held in November 2026.
Yep.
Okay.
there was something else you just, what else
Sorry.
should I bring up?
3A, I was just gonna suggest that maybe we add a provision that the mayor, whoever he, she is, notifies the council president when he, she is out of town or unable to serve.
Fair.
Martin don't wanna tell you the story. When Bear Letter left,
When Barnum became late.
Martin, you remember that? When Bear Letter went to Florida?
Well, okay.
And I
The
had
first
to
question is, yes, I think you went up and sat in his chair, if I remember.
Yes, he
I didn't sit in his chair.
There was a
I didn't
brouhaha.
sit in his chair. That's not true.
Use of the word.
But anyway, the
What page
question
are you
is,
on
a mayor in the modern day and age, with cell phones, laptops, Zoom meetings, you know, the mayor can still be the mayor and not physically be in the city.
But he should, out of protocol, make the council president aware, I'll be in DC, so that you know where he is. Now, you know,
You can't
the
get out of
charter,
him by picking the phone up and calling.
Doesn't mean he'll answer.
If he picks up,
this is what I'm saying. The charter says, not what you say, Mark, in the absence. Because you got a
Physical
cell.
absence, it's
Because you
absence
got,
of ability to serve.
because you got a cell phone and you can call him.
Listen,
He's not in Bridgeport, that's the fight Lenny and I had.
well, sometimes, I'll give you a real quick, because I want to get out of here too, but a real quick personal example. I was out in Wyoming once, and somebody called me up and said, you know, you're on the front page of the Connecticut Post saying that they called your office and you are unavailable and you'll be on vacation out of state for the next week. So I'm not sure the mayor wants the world to know when he's not physically where
well,
he
the
is.
council president is not the world.
But you, the charter,
Right,
see,
very
the charter, listen,
That's not true.
Whatever
I
you want.
don't, I don't
whatever you
agree
want.
with.
What page are you on right
But
now?
Mark,
12.
it's always been protocol since
That's
I've been in
right.
office, that the mayor lets at least the leadership know, and the
Right.
council president always should know, and the
That's
leadership should
fine.
know.
So
It's not like we're gonna blurt it out, oh, he's sunbathing somewhere.
if it's always been protocol, why do you need to put it in? But if you want to put it in protocol,
Cause
put it in.
some mayors
All right, what do you want to put
don't
in?
do it.
I think we should also put in what New Haven has, to make the council president shall receive the mayor's salary in his absence,
He
paid
ain't
by.
never
Keep
gonna go
doing it.
nowhere. He ain't never going nowhere. Listen, the mayor ain't never going nowhere.
That's the point.
The fact that y'all both at the same time.
You want me to call Maria?
That's what New Haven does, they
Maria
pay the
Ferrero.
council
All right,
president.
hold on, we're almost there.
A salary
So at
when
the
the
end
mayor
of
has
page
a salary.
12,
But
you want to
there,
add, hold
you
on,
act in the place of the mayor, is that not true, Ashley?
what am I looking at?
I thought it's in their language.
Chapter 3,
Let's
section
get to
3A.
this here.
3A,
I was just saying,
add the mayor shall
that will make sure
communicate,
the
hold
mayor
on, hold on,
says he's
hold on.
here, he's
The
not
mayor
here.
shall communicate the dates and times of scheduled episodes to the council. I mean, In the event of emergency,
How long an absence have to be if he's driving a hard race? I don't know.
right, I don't know.
That's not an absence, we're talking
What's an
out of
absence?
state to
You
have.
know,
He's in the state, now, come
When
on,
he
come
goes to
on, soup
Italy
to
in
nuts.
Japan and flies over other countries.
Oh, let me just remember, he was just.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
Last
hold
year.
on,
Ready to
hold
go.
on. You can go out of state for the day, or overnight, or a month. How
It
long?
still matters.
Hold on.
Through the chair, I just looked up Stanford's charter, and it says, in the event the mayor is or intends to be absent from the city for a period of 48 hours or more, the mayor shall give written notice to that effect of the president and the
I love
He says
that.
fine. He says it doesn't.
Love that. Can you send that to, city attorney's office?
There you go.
Oh,
Stop right.
last year.
Honestly, it's much less about, I mean, I think it's important if we know the mayor is not in town, or somebody knows that the mayor's not in town. But I'm also thinking quite honestly, and again, I don't wanna compare apples and oranges, but when the Secretary of Defense under Biden had gone through some surgeries, nobody knew it, and then it came out, and, you know, it didn't look good.
Dealing with the
All right, can we-
country.
So,
Yeah.
just the point that
You
somebody
told us. You
knows
told us.
somebody is.
We got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say insert the salary.
What else you got?
Just,
I'm
I know, chapter 4 under city clerk, city and town clerk, section 4, which is
Page what?
page 18. Again, maybe just need some knowledge here, but the duties of town clerk, responsible for maintaining official city records, vital statistics, and overseeing elections. Does its town clerk indeed oversee vital statistics,
No.
or is that
No.
under
Isn't that their own?
health?
We covered that.
But I think that's in a state statute. Well, I'll have to double check
That's
that.
what we
Okay.
discovered.
It was a
State
state
statute.
statute, right?
Right.
Okay, alright.
So it can stay?
It
That's
can
why I asked
stay.
the question.
That's what, we checked it out
Yeah.
and it can stay.
It's a
Okay.
statute.
Cool.
Anything else, Scott Burns?
Nope, I'll leave it at that.
All right. Well, I'll call up. Hold on, hold on.
You gotta do the resolution.
We gotta do the resolution.
It's not just nothing.
Oh, wait. Are we doing the resolution?
Hold on.
This is it.
Wait, hold on, Ashley might be
If we
editing
talk
it.
about the
Can we add that
sunset,
to the
what we're
resolution?
gonna add to the sunset, is that gonna be in there? In the resolution?
All right, let me see what the motion
Adding
is.
on the sunset in there?
These are on the next page.
Alright, Ashley, do you have a copy of it?
Now, they said that.
They're not gonna
sunset
understand.
things, we're not gonna.
The most minute things become the longest meetings. This is gonna be fast, and it becomes a 2-hour meeting at a dumb debate, sometimes.
So long meeting.
No.
Got a lot of stuff done.
Not
So
today.
perhaps we just give you a list. I mean, it looks like Scott has a list started on the sunset chapter, so maybe we just come up with a list for Monday, and you can vote on the list.
Right, yeah.
You're gonna have to vote each one up or down with discussion. Believe me, I'm just saying.
I have to
I
pick
can
one
try
more know
to
what
get
they're
it out
talking about.
before Monday.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, where was one particular
No, we
person?
don't set the ground rules. I don't wanna hear nothing from people that didn't come to the meeting. You just listen to what we doing,
You
vote
can't,
yes
you
or
can't
no.
stifle debate.
I can move the question anytime I want to move it.
Love it, love it.
So, I know what to do to move it.
Just saying. You have at least 7 people filling the charter right now.
Let them vote against it. If they know how they gonna vote, just vote no.
What do we need to get it back to the commission? Majority? Majority.
We have 7. We have 1 interview calling people around asking for support.
Listen, they gonna do what they do. You should be calling on them. I'm gonna call some people I need to say that. Just let the voting decide.
At least.
It's bottom line.
1 minute, go.
Let the voters decide.
Oh.
I think we're having a little.
Like, I don't have to read all this, I can just say, resolution concerning recommendations and changes.
I'm just gonna exhibit it.
Making,
That's what I'm exhibiting.
She's getting a new update.
Oh, this is all,
Yeah, so this is old
Yes.
blank.
takes one to know one, baby. You just hope you look good at my 25 years of age. Now, he didn't get beat up or nothing.
You guys are fools.
He didn't get beat up when he did. It's all right, man. I got the 70 Club waiting for you out there, baby. They got their games, they waiting for you.
Oh my goodness. So did you know one party?
Uh,
Did you know one party?
I used to have coffee every day.
Not at a coffee shop.
That's right. Boys and Bucky, baby. Boys and Bucky. He used to pick me up. That's when Stratford Avenue had dirt roads. I'll play with you. Yeah, you know how we roll.
And hardly any houses, nothing there.
No, man, no, nothing.
Nothing.
Boys and Bucky.
A shack, an outhouse, and you were good.
I said, oh, it's my time now. Y'all stop. Buggy down the road. Have my cowboy hat on. Cowboy boots. You wasn't even twinkling in nobody's eye, brother.
It could be worse, at least we're laughing.
It could, that's right, at least you laughing, man, you gotta.
I apologize.
Where's the dogs at? Well,
Printer's not working, so just exhibit this and
The
then.
printer in the background?
Yeah, I just got
she
it.
jammed it. Oh, I'm sorry.
I printed
What
on
did
it
you
this morning.
say? How they jammed it?
So Francis said this would be a report.
So this is good, just another exhibit. This is all.
You gotta
If
read
you
the.
really want it printed, you can send it to me, I can get it printed
Did
and
you?
built.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Alright,
Hold on.
turn this back on.
Whoa, 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 I got my boots on me, man. Y'all know about that.
You need your asthma pump after you did that day?
Hell yeah.
One pump or two?
It was called mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, baby. You got some oxygen in you?
Bring me the pump.
See if you got some oxygen in your lungs, baby.
Patty was on the side, give me the book.
Oh, you got it, seriously. This is another one of our most productive meetings.
Yeah, I prayed not to come
The
today.
theme?
Yeah, but what's the, correlating effect that leading to these smoother meetings?
Yeah, I prayed them last night. I said, I ain't coming in no more
Oh,
of these meetings.
There's no GGW here.
I said, I'm not coming to no more meetings. I'm tired of it.
You can
And I was here, right?
She got it. She knew it. You know what GGW is?
I don't wanna know.
I'll tell you on the side.
Because it'll be on record. I'll do that.
I want another lawsuit.
I knew it was coming stronger, but.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna filibuster on Monday until I get my money as council president. Starting in 2027, you hear me, Scotty?
You're trying to get everybody's money. You can get the mayor's paycheck.
Why not? Well, anyway, it doesn't really matter, because that doesn't take effect until 2027 anyway. So- No, the 2027, who's ever sworn in is 2020.
I think that this.
No, 2029. 2029?
Thank you.
Good night.
The supervision.
Good night, John, take care.
If you're.
Prisoner, it's.
Have another commission for you to look up.
SCIBEN.
You hear that, right?
Which is that?
The office, the Housing and Economic Development
No,
Commission.
that was a surprise to me that
Oh, easy, there you go.
we didn't cover that, because nobody from the
We
city
should take
council
it out.
mentioned that at our regular meetings. And when we had public speaking, and public speaking.
Yes.
I didn't find it until I was looking for something on economic development.
Right.
Okay, well, maybe
No, I
take that out.
They shouldn't be
Further
in there
draft
either. I think we
to
should sunset
include
that.
punctuation,
Have a list of
as
departments.
well as a
Thank you.
sunset
Oh, okay.
provision, put that language right in there. And put all that in and just went and other possible amendments.
the old Holiday Inn just
Being
was
sold again.
Connecticut Housing Partner.
I don't know how those people are, I gotta look them up. It's gonna be affordable housing there.
That's what
That's what
they
it said, that it was
said.
gonna be affordable housing.
We have an actual contract signed up, actually.
Well,
How
you know who
did-
purchased
how
it
did
the
the
first
sunset
time?
provision read?
John
Was
Kitts.
it-
John
I
Getz.
know it was a little more detailed.
I guess Fredo's restaurant is,
Let's-
went down in flames.
sunset
Wait, he's
provision.
putting a restaurant in
He was supposed to put a restaurant in there.
I think that fell apart a long time ago.
Discuss and review the possibility of sunset provision of charter.
You know, they wanted all the tax
The whole
breaks and
thing,
stuff like that.
to explain, people won't know what a sunset provision is, I think we're going to bed early.
But you know what, affordable housing.
You gotta love him though, right?
Because originally when he took the building over, he was putting suites on the
He's like,
top floor
there's tons of them
just to
in
rent
there.
out, and
It
then
just
everything
keeps
else was
coming.
gonna be apartments, and I guess that fell through. I don't know what happened with that.
He can't Airbnb. Can't Airbnb. Ask the mayor, he knows all about it.
I didn't know how.
Ireland?
Since I heard that the
Expired
bar was still there,
to-
the kitchen's still there.
Yeah.
It's dining.
Yeah.
That's the section of outside he was supposed to open a restaurant in. I mean, he had the place cleaned up, they have the
I think you need
kitchen
to say
cleaned,
discuss
and
and
that's about,
review.
what happened?
Just say.
And then get
as
sold the
well
building.
as-
Review.
No, just say as well as a possible sunset provision.
John Kitts sold the building.
That may, look, they're gonna discuss and do whatever they
That's
want.
my style.
The submission might not do it.
And then
As well as
today when I was
Oh,
coming
peanut
back
actual is
into
really good.
my
Sunset
office,
provision.
I saw the little old lady. She has now 4 carts.
Maybe
Her
to
name is
address
Gwen.
issues that we know
Miss
are
Gwen.
relevant
To,
Miss Gwen likes, fried rice,
or
fried rice,
address
I mean,
provisions.
if you ever want to keep it.
Right,
just
right.
make it general, right?
Right next to
To address
Dunkin' Donuts.
provisions
She won't get
in the
off the
charter.
streets.
And we- That's provisions of the charter.
But that was
The
something,
provisions of the
that's
charter that may
that's
no
what we've
longer
been
be
talking about
relevant.
in regards to, you have some
Just put a
people
period after.
that they're more comfortable in that, and you can't really force it.
She gets a social security check.
She worked for Social Security.
And then
She was a
She's
social
retired.
worker.
And any other.
And now she's homeless?
Yeah, she's been
She
homeless for
truly
years.
Provisions as
Yeah.
appropriate.
Is it a mental health issue or is it a legitimate just decision?
Anthony, I'm
She's
gonna
been
share.
out there as long as I can remember.
I'm gonna tell you the funniest thing, I shouldn't say it, but I gotta say it. So one day I drive by the Cleveland Green and I'm like, yo, Gwen, I gotta pop by.
you guys
Woman,
on
she
the
like,
break?
come use the oven. She had it plugged in the box on the
Anthony, you got it?
Terrible.
I love her though, she's nice.
We
You
just
talk to
called
her,
you.
you
called
know,
me.
Break,
I've seen her when.
Did you call break, because they're still recording.
No.
All right,
You ready?
yep. Y'all have
She really-
documents I can
You talk to her,
present?
she's nice. It's a talk, it's good. My friend Kathy helps her all the time. So the courthouse, she used to, my friend Kathy gave her a heater once, and the courthouse, they removed the outdoor heater. Because part of her ministry is to help the homeless people, so they came out there, they gave them those little small portable heaters, so they went to stay out there. And my friend Kathy, and then she was like, you know that they removed, so the state of Connecticut removed it from the Main Street courthouse.
We did good work, huh?
So now they're locked, so you can't access it.
I always tell people, half loaf's better than no loaf. Half loaf's better than no loaf.
Huh?
It's gonna be a waste if you don't divide the question. If you certify one question, you get it.
Is there a max of how many questions we can put?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, if you separate out the questions,
You should at least save civil service. I mean, that needs to change because it's costing us money.
it's not that, we're not doing that much. Nothing is really
This
doing
one thing has to come out. I mean, civil service needs to stand alone.
If you have, I'm gonna tell y'all something, if you think people gonna go on the top line and pull down all that stuff, they ain't doing that. You better have one button that you vote, cause if they gotta go down, a lot of people just gonna come in, and you gotta understand too, it's gonna be a
Yeah,
little
but I
turnout.
think the people who are advocating against it and getting support behind it will not be advocating against civil service, right? So. I don't know.
Huh?
Civil service and ethics.
If if one of the commissioners that's in civil service wants to kill the charter, so we're gonna separate the elected officials out, we're gonna separate this part out and save civil service, but still the rest of the city still remains dysfunctional in some type of action. That doesn't allow for problems in another
I'm at the big city hall.
I hate to say it, but it's gotta be a shotgun, it's gotta be the whole package.
Right.
Because as John Marshall Lee would tell you, we have very low
You said
voter
that.
turnout. So if you get somebody to the polls to vote,
Mark's like, get me that.
Yes, yes.
but you got them there, they just gonna go out.
Like, you having more than one question, does it change?
It's always gonna hurt though.
There's gonna be
What's gonna hurt?
Favorably excluding
A lot of districts don't
It's
have
almost
time.
over, we're just waiting for.
Well, no, it's not a November ballot.
Favorably.
Oh, this is gonna be on November, oh, okay.
Everybody got a ballot then.
Oh, that's good, it's November, that's good. Everybody's on the ballot.
I know, well, we'll see. Well, it's just a conversation,
I
right?
think it's gonna be,
What do you
get
separate it out?
responsible not to do that.
I think you should have,
Because that's the one thing that's costing us
That's
money.
a-
It's a policy decision, and yeah, you want government to change and all that stuff, but you also don't want to be wasting money because you have a
I don't
poorly
want
written
to, but we
civil
haven't
service
tied
chapter.
it.
And report favorably to
This
the
is
full council.
politics.
So they're approving
Yeah, but this is
the
not money
draft
too, I'm a
and they're
taxpayer.
reporting it.
That's fine.
further result.
You gotta take the good with the bad and the
That's what I'm
ugly.
saying, so stop wasting money.
Right.
Gotta take the good and the bad and the
Oh,
ugly.
honey, this ain't wasting money, we're trying to make good government.
You gotta do like
But
this.
the ordinance committee,
Good government would be two questions.
comma,
That's it. And just do this afterward, baby.
and report favorably to
That's
the
all.
city
Stop
council, comma.
You hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. And then just pray right
Full city
afterwards.
council, that's it.
People gonna do what
I'm
they
sorry,
do.
I left
You
it.
gotta have faith, baby. You gotta have faith.
Okay.
Just
It's
the cards.
happy with the property
We made it
values,
this
what
far.
they're doing.
We made it this far. I have faith that this will pass. 'Cause if you
Everybody should
work
go.
against the progress of your city, that's not gonna be good for you in the future. Have you planned to stay on the council till you're 68 or 72 like Ernie?
I didn't come here at 62, 78.
From 1902 to 2025 to 2031.
I probably have forgot more than most people don't know. Just remember that.
You forgot?
Just remember that, I done
You-
forgot more than some people know.
There goes the-
Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna write that one down.
I know I'm writing it down, quote by Ivy.
I'll give you credit. I'll
Forgot
steal
more.
I'll
I've
steal
heard that
people's
before.
ideas.
Yeah,
I've heard that before.
TR said
You can go ahead.
My father used to
Teddy
use it on
Roosevelt.
me all the time.
that's right. That's right, no, Richard Nixon, no, George Washington. Men roll faster, we only got the boat for now. Delaware River, men roll faster, we only got the boat for now. That's what George Washington said, man.
Was he standing up or sitting down?
That's right.
Oh my God, those crackers are really strong, those jalapeno crackers. Ooh, boy, those.
All right.
Hey! He's faster than
I looked
Dexter.
at
All right, this is gonna be B, right?
No, let me do it.
All
You did the first one.
right,
Thank you.
I
Amend
need
by
one.
substitution, or is this not gonna?
No, it's not been added yet.
He's not big.
This is the update.
Can I get one, please?
I'm sorry, guys.
All right, this is updated.
I'll take one when you're done.
Oh, no, doesn't this, don't we have to adopt the changes?
Boy, we've got to,
The item?
It was never entered.
right, we're gonna enter
First
it
time.
now, right, we're gonna enter this one.
I'm gonna exhibit it as,
Oh, here, hold on.
I'm sorry,
The
guys.
city attorney wants to read it, give her the opportunity to read.
No, go ahead, I think Mark was reading it as they were putting it up.
Ross, you got this?
For me.
I do, but before you do the motion, you actually have to make a motion to approve all the changes,
That's what I was saying,
right?
yes.
This reflects you having done that.
Yep, we have to approve this package,
Mhm.
all changes. We have to make a motion to approve as amended, the item, correct?
I'm sure.
That's what Scott was trying to say.
Still make that motion.
As he
All right,
did
so
those
we
on the
gotta
side.
approve, the one you brought today.
Draft
What's the
4.
item number?
Then we'll amend it with this here one. As amended, you vote on that.
I know it says draft 4, but did you guys mark it as an exhibit earlier?
No, so they
Not
should.
yet.
You wanna do
So
that?
exhibit-
Let's do that first.
All right, this exhibit, this is gonna be 7:30, 25.
2025.
B. And then this other one will be C.
Yep.
As amended, this will be the amended one.
Yep.
30, 25, C. All right,
There wasn't a motion for those.
I'm making a motion,
You have a motion to exhibit the first one?
first one. It's Charter Revision Ordinance Committee, City Council's review of the city charter, July 30th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And this was, again, this was
Okay.
7:30,
Any opposed?
2025 B.
Passes.
2025 B. Now I have an amendment to the charter revision. And it says, resolution concerning recommendation for changes to the draft report of the Charter Revision Commission, July 30th, 2025.
And those changes are to draft 4?
To draft 4, yes,
Right.
as amended.
As amended to draft 4.
Okay.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And this is 7:30, 2025.
Motion to adjourn?
So, if there is no other business,
Yo,
Wait a minute, it could be wrong. Now you still gotta do your motion, don't you?
I just did the amendment.
Motion
As
to approve
amended.
as amended.
I moved it as amended.
Okay, but you didn't read the, now be it resolved. This is what you.
All right.
What you did was you amended it. Now you gotta refer it back to the council. So why don't you
All right.
read just read the now therefore and the further resolve.
All right. Now therefore, be it resolved that the following recommendations attached to and made a part of this resolution concerning changes to the draft report of the Charter Revision Commission are hereby approved and transmitted to the commission, and further resolved that the ordinance committee approve a report favorable to the full city council the July 30th, 2025 draft of the proposed charter revision draft 4 as amended on July 30th, 2025 by the ordinance committee, with the understanding that at the full city council meeting, amendment by substitute of the further revision draft may be made to include punctuations, capitalizations, typos, gender, quality, what's that word?
Scrivener.
Scrivener, error, and similar corrections, as well as possible sunset provisions in the charter to address provisions of the charter that may no longer be relevant, and any other amendments as appropriate.
No one else says no more?
Second.
Happy as a
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much for adjournment.
So moved!
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so this.
My
Meeting
fault.
concluded at 9:13.
This is on the consent calendar.
I can't.